Good evening. Welcome to the Westminster City Council. Thank you for taking the time to be here this evening. And before I start, I would like to mention that the time now is 6:12 on April 9, 2025. We are going to call the meeting to order. So would you please take the roll call?
Mayor Nguyen,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Monzo,
I'm here.
District 1, Councilwoman Fan West, District 3, Councilmember Nguyen,
Here.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
I'm here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with District 1, Councilwoman Fan West absent.
All right, thank you very much. A salute to the flag today is going to be District 4, Councilmember Nam Quang Nguyen, and the invocation by Councilmember Mark Nguyen for District 3. Please stand.
Please join me to salute the flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Heavenly Father, provider of strength, we pray that as leaders of our community, we might have the insight and courage to serve the citizens of Westminster with wisdom and truth. We ask for your guidance in making decisions that affect our community, ensuring that decisions made this evening are the best interests of our city and all its citizens. Amen.
Thank you to Councilmember Nam Quang Nguyen and also Councilmember Mark Nguyen for the salute to the flag and invocation. We have no closed session today, but City Attorney, you have anything you want to report? Then moving on to export communication, is there anything from the dais?
No.
Seeing none, hearing none, so I'm going to move to the next item, which is City Clerk report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to point out for the record that we submitted a late communication memo this morning for agenda item number 4.2. The appeal has been requested to be withdrawn from consideration for tonight's meeting. This item has been removed from the agenda. No discussion or action will be taken. Included in the memo is the letter from the appellant withdrawing the appeal. In addition, just as a reminder to the public, the April 23rd regularly scheduled council meeting has been canceled. We will meet again on May 14th. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next is City Manager report, please.
Good evening, members of the City Council and everyone in attendance tonight. Just a few updates. So first, on April 4th, members of our Westminster PD, sponsored by the POA, proudly represented the city in the Baker to Vegas running event. This relay race starts in Baker, California, and continues through the Death Valley Desert to Las Vegas with no breaks. There are 20 stages to the race. Each team has 20 runners and support staff from their respective police departments. Over 10,000 law enforcement professionals participate in this yearly race. And our wonderful Westminster PD team finished the 120-mile desert course in 18 hours and 42 minutes, placing 164 out of 243 teams. So please help me in congratulating our team support personnel and team captains. Next, starting this Saturday, hop on over to a park near you for some exciting springtime fun. Enjoy a fun-filled day for the whole family featuring an egg hunt for kids, games, crafts, food vendors, and more. You'll even get a chance to meet the Easter Bunny and snap a photo. So this Saturday, April 12th, we'll be at Bolsa Chica Park from 10 to 11:30 a.m. and then at John F. Land Park from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Next Saturday, April 19th, we'll be at Coronet Park from 10 to 11:30 a.m. and then at Tony Lamb Park from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Always a fun event. Hope to see you all there. On Tuesday, April 22nd, from 3 to 5:30 p.m. at Bolsa Chica Park, Sigler Park, and Liberty Park, we'll be celebrating Earth Day. Bring the family out for Earth-friendly activities, learn about environmental topics, and get the chance to take home a goodie bag while supplies last. Also swing by our community garden table at Sigler Park to learn more about the Cherry Street Community Garden opening in May. And at the end of this month, April 30th, join us at our annual Black April Remembrance Ceremony to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon and to honor the lives lost during the Vietnam War. Ceremony will take place on Wednesday, April 30th at 10 a.m. over at Sid Goldstein Freedom Park. The program will include remarks from Mayor and the City Council and other officials, as well as a solemn wreath-laying ceremony. And on Friday, May 9th at 11:30 a.m., join us at the Senior Center for a Mother's Day lunch. There will be entertainment and delicious food. Tickets are $5 and can be pre-purchased at the Senior Center. You can also call 714-895-2878 for more information about that event, as well as other Senior Center events. The city is accepting nominations for the 2025 Small Business of the Year Award in celebration of Small Business Month in May. The program honors local businesses that support the city's economy and community. For information on eligibility, visit the city's website at westminster-ca.gov. The deadline to submit is Wednesday, April 16th at 5 p.m., and winners will be recognized at the May 14th City Council meeting. You can also call 714-548-3178 for more information. Piggybacking also on small business, we have a couple of business technology grants. The Level Up Marketing Grant, which is $5,000 for each grant. It offers $5,000 to businesses that qualify and complete the program requirements. This is a grant that is awarded. It will be awarded to businesses that must attend a one-on-one consultation with the SBDC and complete 4 marketing classes. Application for that is due on April 15th. And the other grant that we have is a Tech for Accessibility, Cybersecurity, and Workforce Development Grant. The reimbursement grant covers up to $1,000 for eligible purchases related to accessibility, cybersecurity, or workforce development. Businesses obviously must be located in Westminster, have a business license, operating for at least 1 year, and have at least 2 employees. Applicants must provide proof of purchase and complete a consultation, and this grant is a reimbursement grant. This program will close once funds are exhausted. So if you're interested, get your application, and information is also on the website. Saturday, May 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Public Works is hosting the 4th Annual Public Works Open House. Really excited about this event. It's a free family-friendly event. Come tour the Public Works yard, learn about the services that we provide, such as graffiti removal, park maintenance, street and pothole repairs, water conservation, and more. There will be food and drinks, demonstrations, photo ops, and a lot of other fun. So more information, 714-895-2876. And that concludes my report for tonight. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, City Manager. And next is a very exciting part, which is a special presentation. I can see a lot of new faces today, so once again, welcome to the City of Westminster meeting. And why don't we welcome each other here at the meeting? Put our hands together to welcome. Before I go deeply into a special presentation that we have 2 items today, I would like to recognize the extraordinary works from the public safety. When we talk about public safety, we talk about fires and also our police officers. I was informed that they have done extraordinary work in the last couple of weeks. I don't want to mention it here because I don't know whether we should or not. I should check with you before. But thank you very much for the effort, for the dedication, and everything that you go out there and serve the community and serve that right. Thank you so much. So the special presentation today, the first one is going to be the presentation proclamation to one legacy ambassador for DMV Donate Life Month. And the second one is presentation of proclamation to Westminster Family Resource Center for Child Abuse Prevention Month. And this month is going to be April 2025. So let me go ahead and read, and then the proclamation, and then we will invite the council member to come and meet you at the podium. So presentation of proclamation for one legacy ambassador for DMV Donate Life Month. More than 103,000 individuals nationwide and more than 23,000 individuals in California are currently on the national organ transplant waiting list. A single individual's donation of heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys can save up to 8 lives. The City of Westminster is proud to join the DMV and One Legacy in celebrating Donate Life Month by sharing information and encouraging community to sign up and save lives. California residents can sign up to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor when applying or renewing their driver's license ID cards at the DMV. Now, therefore, I, Chi Charlie Nguyen, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the Vice Mayor Carlos Manzo and Council members Amy Phan West, Mark Nguyen, and Nam Quan Nguyen, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as DMV Donate Life Month in the City of Westminster, encouraging all community members to check yes online or when applying for or renewing driver license of ID card or ID cards at the DMV and spreading the word to help save lives. So we are going to honor and present the proclamation to One Legacy Ambassador Leslie Eskerson. We will invite you to come to the podium when we're there. The next one is the presentation of proclamation to Westminster Family Resource Center for Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2025. Today, we join the Family Resource Center in the City of Westminster to bring awareness to Child Abuse Prevention Month. In 2024, there were 30,848, or over 30,000, calls in Orange County to the Child Abuse Registry and 560 in Westminster. The Family Resource Center provides resources and services to families to help keep children safe, healthy, and thriving by prevention and intervention of child abuse. The City Council recognized the importance of working together as a community by providing resources, education, and support during challenges and struggles associated with child abuse. Now, therefore, I, Chi Charlie Nguyen, Mayor for the City of Westminster, on behalf of the Vice Mayor Carlos Manzo and Councilmember Amy Phan West, Mark Nguyen, and Nam Quan Nguyen, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Westminster and encourage to all to learn about the importance of child abuse prevention and taking part in combating child abuse in our community. So we're honored to present this proclamation to the Westminster's Family Resource Center staff. At this time, I would like to invite all council members to join me at the podium to present the proclamation to those I mentioned earlier. So the first proclamation, this is DMV Donate Life Month for April 2025. As I already read the proclamation, I'm not going to read it again, but this is signed on this date, this 9th, the date of April 2025 by the City Council and signed by Chi Charlie Nguyen, Mayor, and Carlos Menzo, Vice Mayor for District 2, Amy Fan West, Council Member for District 1, Mark Nguyen, Council Member of District 3, and Nguyen, Council Member of District 4. We are happy to present you with this proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, literally. My late husband died very unexpectedly, and despite all efforts to save his life, that was not going to happen. So because of the circumstances, he was able to donate his heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, cornea, bones, skin, and tissue. He saved 4 people's lives on December 30th, 2017. And if you'll hold this for me for just a moment. I can tell you that no one else is more happy that Paul or you decided to become a registered organ donor than Dan, who received the gift of my husband's heart and saved his life. He's a grandfather, a husband, and he's able to live a full and happy life because of the gift of life that came from my husband. So I very much appreciate the continued support of the City of Westminster to encourage people to register as an organ donor. So I very much thank you again for your continued support. It means the world. Thank you so much.
That's so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Leslie, thank you so much for being here to accept this nomination because it's so important. My sister-in-law passed away just a month ago, and she died of a stroke, and she's 37, and she was able to donate her organs as well to 4 other people. So I understand the importance of it, and also all of our family are donors as well. So thank you, Leslie.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any other customers? Thank you very much. Next proclamation is the proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. I would like to invite city staff, especially for the Family Resource Center. All right, thank you. All right. Proud of the work that you do. All right, thank you so much. Why don't you all come up here for the features? We appreciate for all the work that you put in for the to serve the community, and I'm sure that the city council and also the city staff very proud of what you do for the community. Thank you so much. So, you have anything else with this? We can move. To the other side. Okay. Stay. You have a few words?
I do. I wrote it down because I do this is near and dear to all of our hearts, so I wanted to make sure I said everything I needed to say. The Westminster Family Resource Center extends a heartfelt thank you to Mayor Nguyen and the Westminster City Council for your continued support in protecting the children and families in our community. We are especially grateful for tonight's official proclamation declaring April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Westminster. Your leadership and commitment reflect the city's longstanding support of the WFRC and the mission to protect youth and strengthen families. This recognition helps to shine a vital light on the importance of prevention and early intervention. While April brings a focused awareness to the Child Abuse Prevention Act, WFRC remains dedicated throughout the year working on this mission. For those of you joining us tonight who may not be familiar with our services, we invite you to visit the Westminster Family Resource Center, located at 7200 Plaza Street inside Sigler Park. WFRC offers a wide range of support, including mental health services, domestic violence education, parenting classes, and basic needs assistance. Thank you again, Mayor Nguyen and City Council, for your ongoing support and dedication in making Westminster safe, connected, and thriving.
All right. Once again, put your hand together for WFRC. Westminster Family Resource Center.
Thank you very much, all of you, what you do for our community. It's very important. A lot of folks don't know the services that we provide at the Westminster Family Resource Center. So please come out and look at our website for information, and you come out and join us, and if you need any help. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes lo que hacen por nuestras comunidades en ayudar a nuestra gente. Thank you very much.
We will have another couple more of the proclamation, but we need to approve that before we can present it. So stay if you can. All right, thank you very much. Next, we will have the oral communication for the agenda items only. So if you want to talk about the items that we have in our meeting agenda today, you are welcome to sign up, and I will have our city clerk give you the instructions. So at this time, city clerk, would you please read the instruction into the record, please?
Yes, this is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding any items on the agenda except public hearing items. Members of the public wishing to address public hearing items shall do so at the time of the public hearing. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City Council, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a green speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the City Council chambers and submit the card to the City Clerk. When your name is called, please step up to the podium at that time. State your name and city of residence for the record. First speaker is Tammy Hamill, followed by Camilla Overbeek.
Good evening, Tammy Hamill, Westminster resident, District 1. I'm going to speak on a couple of things. The first one is I'm going to speak on the invocation, like I have before, because it has to do with Amy's meet and greet that she had last Friday. It was at a church, because apparently that's where all of her meet and greets are. But here's a little bit of what the pastor said before she spoke and the other guests spoke. We don't use our brain enough. Haven't seen any radical things going on. We're going to have decorum tonight, and if anybody gets out of line, you will get to meet me. I'm this big for a reason. What we say in hate and disgusting language is wrong. It hurts people. Do not use language that you know is wrong. This is a pastor that she picked to have her meet and greet. So, of course, I'm thinking he must have seen her in action in the meetings, because this is exactly what she does. But then during his prayer, as he continued, in our actions and in our thoughts, watch what we say. As Amy is speaking in council meetings, those that would speak vile language would shut their mouths and hear the truth. So that kind of sounded like it was directed at us. Terry and I were there. My mom was there with me. This man has never met us before, and he's looking directly at us as he's saying these words. So it sounds like she was bad-mouthing us, her constituents, probably after we got there, because I didn't think she knew we were going to be there. The religious people there were prejudging us because she got up and was laughing about it and was like, oh, thank you for your words. And But some of it even sounded a little threatening.
It is.
We're going to have decorum tonight. If anybody gets out of line, you will get to meet me, and I'm this big for a reason. But of course that's who you pick, because that's the kind of religion that you follow. So I'm asking for the invocation to be removed from the agenda. Because if she's allowed to continue to be up here, do even more lengthy prayers, do Bible verses, clearly she does not believe anything that she says. Even in her response email to my email, she says that her religion is her private belief and has no business in local government, then why are you up here doing Bible verses? Keep it out of local government and your partisanship and your nasty pastors. I'm also going to speak on the TEP Foundation real quick. Can we just focus on city business? There's been so many of these discussions about these extra events, monuments, flags, all these things, sometimes in the same meetings where we're talking about possible bankruptcy. So can we make sure that we get to keep all the nice things that we have, police, city staff, before we keep talking about all these foundations where the first one was a total bust?
Next speaker is Camilla Overbeek, followed by Michael Varengia.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to adamantly oppose Agenda Item 9.1, the request to establish a TEP Foundation. This council established the Westminster Community Foundation in 2023 for this very purpose, as well as other community-based events. And while, yes, the foundation did not contribute any funds towards the TEP Parade this year, the fault and failure for that lies squarely at the feet of the council, and to assert or imply otherwise is dishonest at best. I began raising concerns nearly 1 year ago with this council regarding the reckless bylaws that awarded this council full power and control with no way for the board to have any say or bring it before you. There were issues with appointments that the WCF board was not allowed to participate or have a say in. There was a lack of transparency and an overwhelming concern regarding appointees and their lack of basic understanding of legal requirements for nonprofits. At the behest of Councilman Fan West and Councilman Nam Kwan Win, a 4 p.m. study session was placed on the agenda for September 25th, 2024. Both past and current board members at the time appeared before the council ready and willing to discuss how to approve the foundation, correct past mistakes, and to devise a path to success. However, despite being at City Hall, Fan West and Wynn were not present. They refused to take their seat at the dais. The study session was never rescheduled, vacancies were never filled, so the board could at minimum have a quorum to conduct business. Let me reiterate, it is your fault as a council, not ours. You cannot demand ultimate control while simultaneously refusing to act with efficiency and expediency. The council has acted recklessly and irresponsibly. And due to your inaction, WCF taxes for 2023 and 2024 have not been filed. The issue of illegally holding a raffle have not been addressed. Financial records, including any and all receipts for payments made, have not been produced, despite me repeatedly asking. And no one knows where the money is or how much remains. Until this council handles the outstanding issues with WCF, it has no business starting yet another foundation. If the intent is to wind down and dissolve WCF, there are legally required steps and protocol that must take place, none of which can be done until the council addresses outstanding issues. The lackadaisical and apathetic demeanor of this council towards a foundation you insisted on having control over is reprehensible and a disservice to the entire community of Westminster. I'm going to tell this council the same thing I told my kids when they were toddlers. You have to clean up one mess before you make another. And if this council refuses to do so, you will leave me with no choice but to file complaints with the IRS, the Franchise Tax Board, and the California Attorney General. And additionally, I will urge them to deny any further nonprofits this council attempts to create based on this council's dereliction of duty. It should also be noted that Mayor Wynn, I know that you sought to have this foundation raise money
Ma'am, it's time.
illegally.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Michael Varengia, followed by Devorah Mariscal.
Good evening, council members. My agenda items that I'd like to speak on, item 3.5, and that's to approve the event permit application to show movies in the park. This is sponsored by Laura Rose Homes. I think this is a great idea. There shouldn't be any problems with that. Speaking of Laura Rose, she should actually still be on the Planning Commission. Item 9.1, before we have any kind of TET Foundation, folks, if you're going to do a foundation, we already tried that once. That failed. Some of the people that were on there actually had no idea what they were doing. They didn't have the background on it. And the small group of people who did know what they wanted to do were just overwhelmed with those that had no idea what was going on. Before you do anything like this for Tet, how about if we do something for the entire city, which encompasses everybody in this city? We have multiple races that live in this city. There's Vietnamese, there's white, there's African Americans, there's Hispanics, there's Koreans, there's Chinese, there's Samoans. That's all of us. And there's others of smaller groups. Let's do something for the entire city. And I hate to sound like this because this just isn't me, but I can't stand here and be quiet and watch this segue into a Tet Foundation. I've got a great idea for Tet, and you guys that have all the money that you needed, the city wouldn't have to spend a dime, is to have all of these small Vietnamese businesses, and there are hundreds of them in this city, donate $100 for the Tet Festival, for the parade. Can you imagine what kind of money you'd be able to generate? You could have a huge Tet Festival and parade, and it wouldn't cost you a dime. There's no reason for us to shell any money out on this if we're not going to take care of business that directly affects the residents of Westminster. We already know there's crime, there's homelessness, there's other things that you really don't have a handle on because that's society's ills, and that crosses all cities and all states. So before we go out of our area here and want to do another foundation for Tet, let's take care of the city first. Thank you.
Next speaker is Devorah Mariscal, followed by Gigi Vo.
Good evening, Devorah Mariscal, Westminster. 3.8. I really appreciate that you took it to heart the things that I said at the last meeting about Yom HaShoah and recognizing the Day of Remembrance. I really appreciate that. I do see that we have someone from our local synagogue here, so I appreciate that. Mark, thank you for making that happen. It is also Passover on Saturday evening. They have other things to do to get ready for that holiday. So if we could move 3.8 forward so that we could do that and they could leave, that would be great. I appreciate the National Infertility Awareness Week. As an insurance agent, I see people struggle with infertility and go through various treatments, so I'm glad that you're recognizing that as well. 9.1. Aren't we the all-American city? Isn't that what we're supposed to be known for? But we have a parade that only includes one ethnicity. We have financial problems. We are not financially solvent yet. The city should not be spending one dime on that parade. It needs to be privately funded. I would prefer to see something like what they have in Orange, the International Street Fair. I don't know whether we could do that at where the mall is, but we need to include everybody, which we do not do. Thank you.
Next speaker is Gigi Vo, followed by Tony Bui.
Kính chào ông thị trưởng, ông phó thị trưởng, các nghị viên, nhân viên thành phố và tất cả mọi người có mặt tối hôm nay. Tôi tên là Gigi Vo. Tôi là một cư dân lâu năm nhất của quận Cam, đặc biệt là khu Lý Đô Sài Gòn. Tôi là một tình nguyện viên trong cộng đồng và luôn ủng hộ nhiều sự kiện khác nhau, dù là chính trị, phi chính trị hay văn hóa. Tôi tới đây tối nay để bày tỏ sự ủng hộ của mình đối với cái nghị trình 9.1 để thành lập Quỹ Tết Foundation, đóng vai trò quan trọng trong việc tổ chức lễ diễu hành Tết. Sự kiện này có ý nghĩa sâu sắc về văn hóa, không chỉ đối với cộng đồng người Việt, mà còn đối với thành phố Westminster, đặc biệt ở khu Lý Đô Sài Gòn, nơi có cộng đồng người Mỹ gốc Việt đông nhất tại Hoa Kỳ. Lễ diễu hành Tết không chỉ là một sự kiện lớn, mà còn là một truyền thống đáng trân trọng, gắn kết các gia đình, hàng xóm và nhiều thế hệ. Thành phố đã làm rất tốt công tác tổ chức diễu hành trong quá khứ và giờ đã đến lúc cộng đồng và các doanh nghiệp xung quanh Lý Đô Sài Gòn cùng chung tay hỗ trợ để gánh nặng tài chính không chỉ đè nặng lên vai thành phố, để chúng ta cùng nhau ủng hộ diễu hành Tết. Cảm ơn quý vị đã dành thời gian lắng nghe. Xin Hội đồng thành phố cân nhắc và ủng hộ. Xin cảm ơn.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, city staff, and everyone present tonight. My name is Gigi Vo, and I'm a longtime resident of Orange County, especially the Little Saigon area. I'm proud to be a community volunteer and have always supported a wide range of events, whether political, non-political, or cultural. I'm here tonight to voice my support for Agenda Item 9.1 to form the Tet Foundation, which plays a crucial role in organizing the Tet Parade. This event holds deep cultural significance, not just for the Vietnamese community, but for the city of Westminster as a whole, especially in Little Saigon, home to the largest population of Vietnamese Americans in the U.S. The Tet Parade is more than just a celebration. It's a cherished tradition that brings together families, neighbors, and multiple generations. The city has done an excellent job organizing it in the past, and now it's time for the broader community and businesses around Little Saigon to step up and support, so the financial burden does not fall solely on the city. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Next speaker is Tony Bowie, followed by Roger Mindrum.
Good evening, I'm Tony Bowie. Evening to Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, the manager and City Attorney and all the staff present here. Thank you for all of you working hard to make our city thriving. However, as a planning commissioner, I came here to bring up the item that we plan to adopt 3.9 ordinance number 2616. The planning commissioner meeting had approved the ordinance. However, the staff has changed it a lot, which has not complied to whatever we, five of us, had put a lot of time to do it. Okay, the chair, Mr. Walbert, Vice Chair Don Anderson, Aline Hamad, Commissioner, Laura Rose, Commissioner, and Tony Bowie, Commissioner. We agree on that ordinance, but it has been changed. So I told all of you, be careful when you're changing without considering everything that will create a lawsuit to our city of Westminster. And in the past, City of Westminster has been suing on many issues. So be careful and put American first, because this is American city, that not any special ethnic. That is one of my concerns. So that in order for all of us to be success, for example, the item 9.1, in order for all the people to put the effort for the Tet Foundation, you have to explain to the people what the Tet is. You Vietnamese, you know Tet is, but a lot of Americans, they don't know it, and they think that it belongs to the Vietnamese. Make sure that all American people knowing what the Tet Foundation is, and this is the Lunar New Year for all Americans to celebrate. And by that way, we are open to the people on different races. And also, the Tet Foundation has to be transparency, accountability, and fiduciary duties, so that to stop corruption or stop missing funds to the public. That is my concern as the committee for Measure Y, a chair for Measure Y committee. Thank you.
Mayor, can I have a brief comment, please?
Yes. You want to wait until the end?
I want to
okay,
say it right now.
sure.
Thank you. Mr. Bowie, I appreciate and respect your willingness to come and speak, but I really have an issue. If you want to come and speak to this council regarding issues with the Planning Commission, I have no problem you speaking as a resident, but as a Planning Commissioner, you had your opportunity during the Planning Commission for your comments. If you want to speak to us personally, that is fine, but if you come here, I would respectfully ask that you come as a resident, not as a Planning Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Next speaker is Roger Mindrum, followed by Terry Raines.
Good evening, Roger Mindrum. First of all, I'd like to ask, why is 9.1 where it is in the agenda? Why is it after the oral communications, which disallows anyone to speak on what you end up doing? Granted, we have this time now, but I don't see why why any business is after that you're voting on is after oral communications. So give us a good explanation on that. Also regarding 9.1, request to establish a TET foundation, let's just be honest, that was the original intent for the original community foundation anyways. We all know it. You didn't want to call it a TET back then. I don't know what your scheme was, but now you're being honest and you're going to call it what it is, which obviously I want anything but public funds to be paying for that. The city as a whole, we can't afford that. We really can't. I've never agreed with the city paying for that in the beginning, even the past, before you took on 100% of it, when Garden Grove or the Vietnamese Association would come out and ask for $10,000 or $15,000 because it rained or they went over budget. That's just wrong. And going back to the actual community foundation, what an utter disaster of biblical proportions. And I don't think anybody, show of hands, does anybody trust that this foundation is going to be any better? The illegalities and the just complete, the people don't even know. Most people don't even know the catastrophe of that community foundation. And like Camilla Overbeek said, it's on you guys. It's those of you who meddled in it, put your relatives on there, put your wives in there, put yourselves in there. Most people don't even know, and I don't even know how we can get the actual truth out there, because only a few people know how bad it really was. And I believe when you're looking at this and saying, yeah, let's get the community businesses and so forth to help pay for this or pay for it 100%, great. But reality is, everyone up here, I really wish your number one priority in life is to not have 9.2% sales tax. Your goal should be getting rid of that tax. And do any of you have any plans? Is that anywhere in your consciousness to get rid of that sales tax? Because it's wrong.
Final speaker is Terry Raines.
Hello, item 3.1, I sent emails about minor errors and missing minutes. I caution staff against fabricating or embellishing the legal record of any meeting as was done recently and subsequently corrected after I challenged it. We're still missing the October 23rd and March 26th minutes. 3.2, almost $11,000 was paid to a moonlighting city clerk to complete minutes for 9 meetings at $150 per hour. With Ashley on board, we shouldn't pay outsiders to do minutes anymore. Legal costs are rising for the city's case against Amy and Nam Kwan. Nearly $37,000 was paid on this register share alone. If the city prevails, Amy Nam Kwan will be ordered to pay all attorney fees incurred by the city. They can't afford to pay, so in that case, the city should offer a debt settlement deal. Resign from council immediately and we'll reduce or eliminate your debt. 3.5, approve Laura Rose's special event permit and thank her for sponsoring these events for our residents. While you're at it, apologize to her and others for your disingenuous commission appointments. 3.9, approve this and let's finally get this billboard ordinance codified. The gross delay in adopting this caused by Amy Nam Kwan and your former city attorney is unacceptable. 3.10, approve this and let's finally get this camping and storage ordinance codified. Let's hope this provides our PD, HLOs, and social workers an effective tool to tackle our serious homelessness issue. 9.1, Christine, your disclaimer, staff reports prepared by staff on behalf of members of the City Council do not reflect the opinions of staff. Cracks me up, but it was a brilliant move on your part. This request coming from Mayor Nguyen is rich to establish a Tet Foundation to raise money for the Tet Parade and other Tet-related cultural efforts, whatever that means. I enjoy the parade and would like to see it funded solely by voluntary donations and sponsorships, but I'm opposed to this council establishing another foundation. Mayor Nguyen, you and your cohorts literally destroyed the Westminster Community Foundation with your bogus appointments, discriminatory practices, undue political influence and interference, and your shady attempt through the chair, your brother-in-law, Charlie, to convert that foundation into a Tet Foundation, which was not the stated purpose. That foundation failed because of you. This council hasn't taken action to disband it yet, but wants them to turn over their remaining funds. You expect us to trust you to establish another foundation that will benefit only one segment of our population? A public benefit foundation created by a public agency should benefit all residents. Yeah, we'd benefit as taxpayers because we wouldn't be on the hook for almost $200,000 to fund your parade, but where is your drive and commitment to fund events for the other 60%? What other Tet-related cultural events, Charlie? Your misguided fantasy to erect a Vietnamese cultural center at Blakey Historical Park, maybe? If you really want to benefit the Vietnamese community through nonprofit work, Charlie, resign your seat and dedicate your life to that mission. But don't expect us to support your disingenuous and discriminatory attempts to create your own personal Vietnamese legacy. FYI, I am providing handouts to all of you in relation to my non-agenda comments, and I ask that you review them when I'm speaking. Thank you.
No more speakers, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to let you know that I respect you. I hear you loud and clear, and I respect your opinions. I just want to ask you that we each one of us have different opinions. Number one, I can tell you that my office, I have open door policies. You can come in and talk to me anytime. As a matter of fact, I texted to some of you. If you have any problem, come and talk to me. That's number one. Number two, I heard this a couple times already. I invite you all to stay for 9.1 so we can dive into it and discuss about it. I think we all have the same goals. We are talking the same language. We just don't understand each other. And why don't we wait until 9.1 come up, then we talk about it in details. And that's when we understand what we want to do. No, ma'am. At this point, you have no right to do. We are the council doing it right now. You have your chance already. Now, I heard that, why don't we concentrate on the city business? The city council, the whole agenda is talking about city business. There's only 1 hour of that many talking about the item that talk about the Tet Parade. And it is, I can tell you, wait until 9.1, it is the city business. I can tell you that. So what you also brought up, what is the difference between WCF and the Westminster Tet Foundation that we are about to do? Wait until 9.1, then we can talk about it. So that's my brief comment. I invited you to come to stay for 9.1 so we can talk about it. And I may move 9.1 up so that you can talk about it and you can go home early. All right. At this time, I'm going to close the oral communication for agenda items, and I would like to move to consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved as a single motion, followed by a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the City Council or staff request that specific item be removed from the consent calendar for separate action or discussion. At this time, I would like to pull 3.8 for the discussion. Any pull from the agenda?
Mr.
from the
Mayor?
council? Yes.
I would like to pull 3.3,
3.3.
3.7, and 3.9.
Anything else? If
That will
not,
be all.
can I entertain a motion to approve the rest?
I motion to approve it as is.
Second.
Okay. You can go ahead and repeat the motion.
Thank you. I have a motion made by District 1, Councilwoman Fan West, followed with a second by District 3, Councilmember Nguyen. This is to approve the consent calendar with agenda item numbers 3.3, 3.7, 3.8, and 3.9, pulled from the consent calendar for separate discussion.
Wait. I'm sorry, hold on. 3.8 also needs to be pulled if you're
Yes.
going to do a presentation.
Yes, I call for 3.8
The mayor
to be
pulled
pulled.
Yes, so for the clarification, it's 3.3, 3.7, 3.8, and 3.9 pulled for separate
Okay,
discussion.
you want to
I'll go
make a
to-
motion for that?
I'd like to make, well, we have a first and a second. Do we need a substitute motion if we want 3.8 to be heard first? Do we?
You can make a friendly amendment if the motioner and the
Of the
seconder
amenders,
are okay
yeah,
with
the
that.
motioners, are the motioners okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Is that okay, Mark?
Yes, fine.
Councilman?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the friendly amendment is to hear agenda item number 3.8 prior to items 3.3, 3.7, and 3.9. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
So we will start with 3.8. The reason I pulled 3.8 for approval of proclamation is because both of these proclamation is going to happen in the month of April. So that's the reason why we pull, so that we can approve these items. If we have the council agree to that, then we can also present it to the awardee today. So I move to approve the proclamation for A and B.
Second.
I thought we already did.
Thank
For
you.
3.8.
I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, seconded by Vice Mayor Monzo. This is to approve the following proclamations.
No, we're not going to discuss.
No, we are not discussing. Just approve.
We're approving the following proclamations. Yom HaShoah, Day of Remembrance, April 23rd through the 24th, 2025, and National Infertility Awareness Week, April 20th to the 26th, 2025. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Wait, this is to approve 3.8 first?
Yes.
This is to approve 3.8. We're already at 3.8, so this is to approve the two proclamations.
Okay.
As
yeah.
presented.
Absolutely, yes. Because
Thank you.
it's this
District
month.
3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
With approval from the City Council, go ahead and present I will read the proclamation and we'll present it before we move to the different items. So this is a presentation of proclamation for Yom HaShoah, Day Remembrance. I'm sorry if I read it wrong. Yom HaShoah, Day of Remembrance is observed as Israel Day of Remembrance of over 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust. It is our shared responsibility to ensure that the lessons of the Holocaust are not forgotten, to educate future generations about the horrors of the past, and to work collectively toward the world of peace, justice, and mutual respect. The City of Westminster honors the memory of the Holocaust victims and expresses unity with survivors, and reaffirm our commitment to and discrimination in all forms. Now, therefore, I, Chi Charlie Nguyen, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of Vice Mayor Carlos Manzo and Councilmember Amy Phan West, Mark Nguyen, and Nam Quan Nguyen, do hereby proclaim April 23rd to April 24 from sundown to sundown as Yom HaShoah Day of Remembrance in the City of Westminster, and encourage all residents to reflect on the horrors of the Holocaust, commit to preserving the memory of the victims, and stand together in the fight against hate in all of its forms. So we are honored to present this proclamation to a member of the Temple of Beth David of Orange County. We will invite you to come to the podium when we finish with the second one. The second one is a presentation of the proclamation for National Infertility Week, April 20 to 26, 2025. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 1 in 7 women have trouble getting pregnant or sustaining a pregnancy. Infertility affects women and men equally and does not discriminate. Cost and lack of insurance coverage are barriers for many in California. The City of Westminster joins with the Reproductive Partners Medical Group, Resolve, the National Infertility Association, and dedicated volunteers, healthcare professionals, and members of infertility community by recognizing this within our own community. Now, therefore, I, Chi Charlie Nguyen, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of Vice Mayor Carlos Manzo and Council members Amy Phan West, Mark Nguyen, and Nam Quan Nguyen, do hereby proclaim the week of April 20 to 26, 2025 as National Infertility Week in the City of Westminster, and encourage the community to become more knowledgeable about infertility, while empowering the community and those who lives forever change. We are honored to present this proclamation to Shara Zuboff from the Reproductive Partners Medical Group. Now, the city, I would like to ask the City Council to join me at the podium. All right, thank you so much for being here. All right, this proclamation, Yom HaShoah Day, remembrance,
Yom HaShoah.
Okay. All right, April 23rd sold out to April 24th sold out 2025. So I read that already. I read the proclamation already. So again, congratulations on behalf of the City Council and City staff. We'd like to present this one to your organization.
Thank you very much, Mayor and Council. The Holocaust is a difficult topic for everyone. What happened to 6 million Jews and millions of other people is horrifying. And it is imperative on us that we remember what happened, how things could go that wrong, not just for Jews, but for every single ethnicity, race, you name it, for all of us, that we assure that no such thing ever happens again. I remember being, I was a teenager at religious school, and we had a discussion on the Holocaust. And one little kid, about 7 years old or so, raised her hand and asked the rabbi, well, why didn't they just call the police? It is a sad fact that in many parts of the world, calling the police won't do you any good. But I want to say thank you to the Westminster Police Department for their years of support and their visibility on our campus. And I know some people look at the police and say, I don't like the cops. Well, not liking the cops is great, right up until you need one. And Westminster PD has been steadfast throughout the years in their support of us. They keep an eye out for us. They do a tremendous job in making sure that we're safe. And we appreciate that. We appreciate the City Council for their years of support as well. And it is my honor to accept this proclamation. Yom HaShoah is coming up at the end of the month. And it's a time we remember with some pain. I myself had lost family members, great uncles and aunts, and I never want to lose my determination that this country always guarantees that the cities, the police, will be here for all of us every time. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for accepting this on behalf of your church. Something I always say to people, if you don't learn your history, you're doomed to repeat it. The thing that we need to remember is the events that happened prior to the Holocaust. How did they get to that point? What happened? The hate speeches, the division, that a government creating an enemy within the same state. We got to be careful because a lot of that history is happening now, and we need to fight for that and stop that. And we, the people, have the power to stop that by speaking up. And we need to pay attention what is going on and what is being said in our country, because words matter. Words are powerful, especially when they come from our elected leaders. So I ask all of you to pay attention. We cannot let that happen again. I wish that the Holocaust, as in many other countries, is taught in our curriculum. We should be teaching the Holocaust to our children at a grade school and junior high, so it does not happen again. So thank you very much. Thank you.
I just wanted to say I didn't introduce myself. I'm Richard Ruby. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees at Temple Beth David here in Westminster. And some of my co-congregants and friends, Mulu and Robin Harrison, are here as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. Oh, I just have a few words. And I know it's a tragedy. The Holocaust is a tragedy, but many of our university are rewriting history, and it's unacceptable. We want to keep it as it to be protected, but not only that, it gives us a history, like my colleague was talking about, to learn from the history so then we don't repeat itself again. And I know that the Constitution allows us to be protected for our freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to bear arms, and on and on. So that's why I believe in the United States, if we continue to apply the Constitution to our daily life and our government, I believe it will protect us from the Holocaust happening again. So I support you guys 100%, because I stand, as Americans, we stand with Israel. We stand, and we will continue to stand. And your synagogue is in my district. So I am there. When I heard about the Palestinian, the outrage and everything, I made sure that the chief of police do extra patrol. And because you guys brought it to my attention. So thank you for being a part of our community in District 1. God bless you guys. Want your photograph? Your congregation? You guys want?
Thank you. We have another one, right? Thank you. Okay, yeah. Councilor Marquand is still, we still have another one. The next one is Proclamation National Infertility Awareness Week, and this week is going to be on April 20 to 26, 2025. So on behalf of the City Council and City staff, we'd like to present it to your organizations. Thank you.
I would love to say something. Thank you. Hi, I'm Dr. Marley Amin. I work with Reproductive Partners Medical Group. We have an office here in Westminster. I don't think a lot of people know that infertility affects 1 out of 6 people globally. That is a huge number. It affects our friends, our family members, our neighbors. And it's a really stigmatized condition, so people don't seek care. They suffer in silence. And by doing this, we thank the City of Westminster, thank you, Mayor Nguyen, because by doing this, we're shedding light on it. And by shedding light on it, we are helping to improve access to care. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right. Next is item 3.1. I believe this item being approved by Councilmember West. So, no, item 3.3 instead. Okay, let's go with 3.3, agreement for a feasibility study for a proposed water well at the Westmont Elementary School. So, Councilmember West, you are now recognized.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jake, can you please, I know that it went through Planning Commission, right, this past week, is that correct? And can you give us more information on this, just briefly for the people?
Sure. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. So this is not a project yet. The school district just approached the city staff to look into potential leasing this land from the school for the water well. So the item in front of you tonight just authorized for a consultant who do a feasibility study to look at whether it's feasible to put a water well there for the city. Just give you a brief history of the area that we only have a small well in that area to serve the south end of the city. And that well probably not going to be for a long time. So we're probably going to start looking for an area that potentially drill new wells. So this is just a feasibility study. It's not any plan or anything at all.
Okay. I guess one of the residents came out, they were sharing their concerns that that area has a lot of traffic with the schools, and that's their concern of the congestion. What's your comment to that?
Sure. For the water wells, we actually generate 1 vehicle a day. or if not.
Okay.
So just like I said, water well, so it's just a maintenance for our staff to go in and check, make sure everything functions. If will be a water well there. But right now, like I said, you're looking at a big development, it's only one car a day.
Right, now, before even one car a day coming to facilitate that well, we have construction. So how long would that construction be? I think that's the concerns of the resident there, because that will delay the traffic flow to school and whatnot. So how long would that be?
A typical well construction probably going to take more than a year, and mostly it's going to be on site. So you probably have a drilling rig, and they're going to drill probably almost 1,000 feet, and it's going to take some time, but it's not going to generate a lot of traffic as far as construction vehicles there.
Okay, what about the noise? I know that's some of the concerns as well for residents.
Part of the project that we'll do all that studies, make sure that there's a noise, and the resident around that area will be notified, and we do the public hearing and public outreach and all that stuff. But like I said, this is only the very first step, do a feasibility study.
Okay, and then when would you guys be doing the public hearing for them? Because I mean, this is a huge concern for the resident over there.
Like I said, when we have a plan, we will do an outreach, talking to the resident first before we actually bring it to the planning commission and then to the city council.
Okay. But with this planning, it's not saying that we are approving of that construction, right? This is just an assessment.
This is is a feasibility study.
And then with the assessment, how long would that take?
It depends on the process. We look at that right away. We look, the agreement with the school district. So I don't have a time to let to say it's going to be a year or 6 months. But again, it's going to be a process.
Okay, and then once that is assessed, you will get the study out. And how many study usually you do for public?
How many public outreach?
Public outreach.
We're probably going to do notifying the residents in that area as well as the businesses, and we probably hold the public outreach at the site. So we're probably going to be one public outreach, but there's also opportunity for the resident to comment at the planning commission meeting as well.
Okay, and so once, so it's going to come back to planning. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Jake.
Welcome.
I move to approve this item.
I'll second it.
Okay, all right.
I just have a quick question.
Okay, please.
Hey, Jake, thank you for your help. I remember a few years back there was a project that was proposed to be at this location, senior living. I don't know if you remember that. Is that project, it just never came to fruition?
The proposed area is outside of that footprint of that project.
Oh,
so it's not part of that project.
Oh, okay, thank you. That's it.
All right, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second to it?
I second it.
All right.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, seconded by Vice Mayor Monzo. This is to approve the agreement for a feasibility study for a proposed water well at Westmont Elementary School in the amount of $41,577, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Next is item 3.7, adoption of plans and specifications and authorization to solicit construction bid for the playground renovation project for Eldon Gillespie Park, and this is plan number P-2639. This item pulled by Councilmember West, so you are now recognized.
Do you have a question, or you want me to?
If you can. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sure, sounds good. So this item tonight is the process for the city council to approve for the staff to basically plan and spec so we can start advertising for the project. So this is the playground renovation project at Gillespie Park. So as you know, all the playgrounds in our cities have exceeded its life. So this is via the study of the master plan. So staff conducted a an outreach back in October 24, 2024, at the site as well as online, and we have received a lot of comments from the residents. So we put together a plan, and we also get the approval from the City Council on February 12, 2025, to purchase the playground equipment. So this is the plan and spec that you're ready to put it out for the installation part of it. So when we receive the bid, we will come back to the City Council to award. So this is our plan for doing an open bid on May 20th, 2025, and bring back to the Council for the June 11, 2025 for the award, and pretty much start the project in July 2025.
Okay. Thank you, Jake. I was looking at this. I know we did, as a council, approve on February 12, 2025, just a few months ago. It was estimate $200,000. And then now, I guess the estimation is double, $400,000. Now, can you tell me how is that assessment? I know that we have a scope of things that you guys are doing, but I see no breakdown of how much goes into each. So, for example, the first one, the scope, is removing the existing concrete and put in the playground equipment. How much would that be, go into that? And then performing site grading, how much goes into that? And then installing new Portland cement, concrete sidewalk, curb. Can you tell me how much goes into that as well?
Sure, absolutely. So just want to clarify that on February 12, 2025, that's the amount of $202,000, $202,001.24. That's how much it costs to buy the equipment. And the engineering estimate of $434,000 for installations. Basically, this is just an estimate, so we will bring it back to the council in June with the breakdown of how much it costs for every item that you just mentioned. Okay. So right now, we don't have a bid yet, but we just put together an engineering estimate, but the real number, when we receive the bid, bring it to the council in June. And we will always attach that information to the staff report.
Okay, and then with this so far, where did you estimate that's going to be around 400,000? Like what? The breakdown? I just need the breakdown. It's not in here. I don't.
Unfortunately, we don't attach with the breakdown in here, but we're more than happy to attach it with when we receive the bid to this council to see it.
Well, today you want us to approve this amount, right?
No, to approve the advertising the project, not approving the amount.
Okay, but then you give us an estimate as well. But it's nice, it's nice as the council to have the breakdown of where you assess this amount. I think it's really, I think you guys are doing a great job, but what I need as a council is that we see the breakdown, so it gives us more backdrop of this amount, you know what I mean, for your assessment.
No problem. We will, in the future, we will attach the engineering estimate to this process.
Thank you so much, Jake. I appreciate that.
All right, anything else? Or we'll entertain the motion for this.
I motion to approve it.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion made by District 1, Councilwoman Fan West, seconded by Vice Mayor Monzo. That's to approve the plans and specifications for the playground renovation project for Eldon F. Gillespie Park, plan number P2639, and authorize the Public Works Director or City Engineer to approve minor modifications to the plans and specifications to accommodate requested revisions from public safety and utility agencies, and authorize the Public Works Department to advertise and solicit construction bids for the said project. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Next is item 3.9. It's also approved by Councilmember West. It is second reading and adoption of Billboard Ordinance number 2618, amending Chapter 17.330 of the Westminster Municipal Code. So now you recognize Councilmember West.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So what I want to know, if you guys can briefly address the last concern from the council on the dais here. were you guys able to implement everything that we requested? Because the thing is that I feel from Tony Bowie, Commissioner, just came today and addressed it, and he felt, as reading this, you guys haven't implement every point in here. So can you address that as well in this ordinance? And then also, it just feel like there needs to be a process that we go through so it shows transparency. But of course, it's up to the council to decide what to implement and what to take out, right? But I think as the process goes, is that the Planning Commission, their changes go to the council.
Councilmember West, if you don't mind, I believe that we spent a lot of times
Mr. Mayor, may I finish? I have
Yes,
4
but I
minutes.
just
May
want to
finish?
hear if you have specific information so that they can answer it instead of going back to the beginning.
Absolutely. I'm just asking those questions. Please, okay, thank you. I have the floor. Go ahead.
Sure.
Those are my questions.
I can address the, I believe Mr. Bowie was reiterating his frustrations from the previous meeting, where he felt that the recommendations from the Planning Commission weren't presented. And like Mayor just alluded, we discussed this in great detail at the last meeting. A conversation ensued as part of that subject item, and every single comment that was provided by this council is included in this version. Would you like to add to that, Stephanie?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Stephanie Tomaino, Contract Principal Planner. There were, as a result of the public hearing at the last City Council meeting, the City Council motion included 2 requested changes to the billboard ordinance. The first dealt with explicitly outlining the development standard for the separation of billboards. So that is set by state law, and that specific standard was incorporated into the ordinance as requested by City Council. The second change that was requested by City Council dealt with the maximum height of billboards and outlining more objective requirements as far as what specific materials would need to be submitted to justify the proposed height of a billboard. So both of those items were incorporated into the billboard ordinance, which are shown as red line track changes.
You know, I also noticed the concerns were that in the ordinance that you guys have it kind of like as optional to depend on which applicants submit an application for their billboards. And if this application wanted a little more flexibility on the billboard to be closer to the resident, that you guys in there with the language that it's optional, right?
There is a specific standard, that specifies the minimum distance between billboard structures from residential uses, which I believe is at 200 feet. However, there is additional provisions there that provide, that essentially allow for applicants to submit a lighting study and meet certain criteria to allow staff as well as the Planning Commission to consider exceptions to that 200-foot residential setback standard. So all of this, any applications for a billboard that is subject to Planning Commission approval, it's a discretionary action, and all of that information will be considered through that review process.
Right, and the only concern I heard from a lot of residents is that there's nervous that the light will be so bright like Las Vegas and too big like Las Vegas. And then plus the value of their homes will be decreased, and then the light will be very distractive. So I know that you say there will be a study on that, but you know, the exception, I think we need to make it clear for those builders who are building billboards that, hey, this is the size that our city accepting. This is the distance our city accept. Even though, you know, this is the requirement that you study the light. That's a requirement. It does not because of you did the study of the light, therefore we make an exception to make it bigger for you or closer to the homes. No, I don't think that's right. I think it should be because you did the study required from the state of California, that's required. that I think that needs to be it.
All right, thank you, Councilmember West. Your 5 minutes is up. If we need to go to the second round, we will go, but at this time, is there anything from the council?
No, I think all the information is here. A motion to approve.
Yes.
Second.
All right. Do we have motion and second to approve? Now, but I still want to go back to you if you want to do the second. Councilmember West?
I motion.
No, there's a motion already.
Okay, so basically.
If you don't have anything else.
No,
then
I
we
have
can-
nothing.
Okay.
Thank
then
you, Mr. Mayor.
Please call for the vote.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor made by Vice Mayor Monzo, seconded by District 3 Councilmember Nguyen. This is to approve the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2618, entitled An Ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, approving a zoning text amendment, case number 2024-0188, amending Title 17 of the Westminster Municipal Code, Chapter 17.330, signs related to electronic billboard, freeway signs, billboard ordinance. Read by title only, away further reading. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
For the sake of the same issue, I vote no on this one.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Last time I voted no. I keep my vote no.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 3-2.
All right, thank you. At this time, we can go to public hearings, and then, but before we go that, I would like to move item 9.1 before 5.1. But that's my motion. Is there a second to that?
I second it.
Okay, second to move the items 9.1 to before 5.1.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, seconded by District 3 Councilmember Mark Nguyen. This is to move agenda item number 9.1 ahead of agenda item 5.1.
Yes.
We're going to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, at this time, I open for public hearing, section 4.0, and Madam Clerk, would you please read the instruction into the record, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone wishing to speak on an open public hearing may speak in person. Speakers during public hearing comments will each have 3 minutes to speak on each public hearing item. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a green speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the council chambers and submit the card to the city clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time and state your name and city of residence for the record.
Okay, it is going to be 4.1. 4.2 is through the late communication item. 4.2 has been withdrawn from the agenda, so we're not going to talk about 4.2. But at this time, it's going to be 4.1 public hearing, draft plans for implementation of the CBDG and home federal grant allocations for fiscal years 2025 to 2029. So I would like to ask for a staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Michael Sun. I'm the housing specialist, and tonight's public hearing is regarding the initiation of a 30-day public review period for multiple draft plans. Some of this information that's being presented tonight might be familiar, so this might be a refresher from our study session back in February. So what is a consolidated plan? The consolidated plan is a 5-year plan. It addresses an analysis of housing and community development needs. It's a 5-year strategy that addresses those needs as part of our community outreach, which involved stakeholder workshops, community workshop, as well as a community needs survey. And the plan also establishes general priority needs and goals. Additionally, throughout the 5-year consolidated plan, the city prepares what's called an annual action plan. The action plan identifies specific programs and budgets for annual CDBG and home allocations that addresses the general priority and needs and goals identified in the 5-year plan. The con plan and the action plan are both required documents in order for the city to receive community development block grant programs, also known as CDBG, as well as home funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. Some potential uses of CDBG funds include acquisition and retention of affordable housing, infrastructure improvements, community facility improvements, community services, economic development activities. Ineligible activities include political or religious activities, new construction of housing, and routine maintenance such as filling in potholes, repainting public facilities, and et cetera. Additionally, as a requirement of CDBG, 70% of CDBG funds must be spent for activities that benefit low and moderate income persons. Some potential uses for home funds. The program is designed exclusively to create affordable housing for low-income households. So that includes building, buying, and or rehabilitating affordable rental and owner housing. It also, home is eligible to provide direct rental assistance to low-income households. And as part of home requirements, there's a 10% cap on admin costs. Additionally, there's also a 15% requirement that the city is required to set aside for community housing development organizations, also known as CHODOs, but that current regulation is currently suspended through December 31st, 2025. As part of the development of our consolidated plan, the HUD requires for the city to do extensive community outreach. So here's a synopsis of the city's efforts. During October, the month of October, the city distributed a community survey that was available on the city's website. It was also provided to a number of stakeholders that work directly with low-income households, as well as it was available at our fall festival as well. October 8th, the city conducted a stakeholder workshop inviting city departments, divisions, and a plethora of nonprofit service providers to provide additional input on what the most pressing needs are in the community. Additionally, the city conducted a community workshop inviting residents to provide additional feedback on the most pressing community and housing development needs. And then in February, the staff held a study session in regards to the consolidated plan. And tonight represents the public hearing to initiate the required 30-day public review of the city's draft consolidated plan and action plan. And then for the council's consideration on May 14th, anticipated is the adoption of the consolidated plan and action plan before the city submits it to HUD for review and approval. And this is just an overview of the community survey results. The most important public infrastructure needs are street and alley improvements. Most important community facility needs are park and recreational facilities and healthcare facilities. Most important special needs services involve anti-crime programs, services for the homeless, and health services. The most important housing needs are home ownership assistance and housing code enforcement. Most important special needs housing are for housing for seniors and affordable rental housing. And the most important business development job needs were for job creation and retention. And this is the results from feedback from stakeholders that involved city departments and divisions, as well as a variety of nonprofit organizations that attended the stakeholder meeting. Significant need for housing, food insecurities, and utility assistance. Disability-related discrimination allegations were the most common or pressing needs. The need for more housing options and rental assistance. The need for financial literacy education, roadway improvements, as well as shelters. To gather additional feedback from the community was invited to a community workshop. So these are some of the priorities that were listed as part of the community workshop. Affordable rental housing was a top priority. Housing for seniors and persons with disabilities. There also was a comment about insufficient bus stops. The city should be more walkable. And then mobile home residents are vulnerable given the rising housing costs. And with that, with the extensive community outreach, as well as the development of the draft consolidated plan, these are the identified priority needs along with the associated goals addressing those priority needs. In regards to housing needs, the city has a goal to preserve existing housing and create new affordable housing through Westminster Tenant-Based Rental Assistance Program funded by Home Fund, acquisition, rehabilitation, new construction of affordable housing projects, public improvements in support of new affordable housing. In relation to community service needs, the goal is to support agencies that assist special needs populations and provide needed community services to low and moderate income persons, including unhoused individuals and families. In regards to parks and recreational facilities, the city's goal is to enhance and update public infrastructure and community facilities that benefit low and moderate income neighborhoods and residents, as well as those with special needs, such as seniors, the disabled, and the homeless. In regards to infrastructure improvements, the city has a goal to provide needed infrastructure improvements in low and moderate income neighborhoods. And lastly, for planning for housing and community development needs, the city has a goal to implement planning for housing and community development through home administration, CDBG administration, and the Fair Housing Program. And with that, this is an overview of what the city is planning to allocate towards different projects and programs for the upcoming fiscal year, for fiscal year 2025, 2026. I do want to note that these are just estimates in regards to CDBG and home allocations. HUD has not published the fiscal year 2025-2026 allocations, so there might be an increase or decrease to these numbers here. So for proposed CDBG activities, the city is expected to receive approximately $978,000 in CDBG funds with a carryover amount of $27,000. And for public services, as required by CDBG regulations, there is a 15% cap of the CDBG allocation. So, and for public services, the city is recommending to fund the Family Resource Center, the Senior Outreach Center, Home Delivered Meals Program, Summer Youth Program, and Project SHOE. I do also want to note that these requests come directly from the city department and a variety of nonprofit service providers that are interested in administering CDBG programs for the city. In regards to CDBG administration, there's a 20% cap. Majority of cities do cap the 20% for its CDBG administration. So in regards to CDBG administration, the city is recommending to allocate $175,000. And for Fair Housing Foundation, which is a requirement by HUD to affirmatively further fair housing, for $25,000 to the Fair Housing Foundation. And the remaining amount for the CDBG allocation goes towards public infrastructure or public facility improvement projects. So staff is recommending for street improvements and as well as sidewalk improvements for those listed amounts. In regard to the proposed home activities for the upcoming fiscal year, the city will have an approximate allocation of $409,000 with a carryover of approximately $809,000. For housing-related programs, city staff is recommending tenant-based rental assistance program for $500,000. As identified in the outreach, as well as the current available data that's provided by HUD. A lot of renter households are experiencing a cost burden where they're paying more than 50% of their income towards rent. So the tenant-based rental assistance program will address those cost burden needs. In regards to home administration, there is a 10% cap on home administration. And the remaining amount will be set aside for a potential affordable housing project with a local nonprofit organization, also known as a CHODO. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to open it for Mayor or City Council questions for staff.
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a brief question. So what is affordable housing, what is affordable approximately for a two-bedroom apartment or a house? What is affordable, considered affordable?
So in terms of affordable housing, the rents are set by the funding source. I can get you an idea. I would need to look it up. But I can get that information to you later if that's okay with you.
Okay, okay, that's fine. The next question is, what makes senior housing?
Can you elaborate on what you mean by that?
Basically, you know how you mentioned about senior housing in here? Can you elaborate on that? Like what makes senior housing, like how many senior housing that we can allocate for them? Or are there like a certain set?
That was just a listed identified need that this, in regards to our community outreach, that there needs to be more senior housing development in the city.
Would you be setting a certain amount for them or?
So right now, we have available in my slideshow approximately $609,000 set aside for a potential project, but that really doesn't really get you anything. Typically with developers, they'll come to the city and ask if the city has any available funding to support their project, but the developers themselves would also have to do their due diligence in acquiring additional funding, either from the county, the state, as well as private financing to support their project.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one is, okay, so person with disability and wheelchair access, what's the difference for that one? Or
It falls under the same group.
so, same group? Okay, that's great. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you,
All right,
staff.
thank you very much. Anything else? All right, Vice Mayor Menza.
Michael, thank you for your detailed presentation. Done a good job. I know you worked really hard on this. On the housing project, after we add the 678 that you projected, what's our total that we have in that account? Do we know?
It's just the 678.
We don't have any other.
No, unfortunately not. But we did earlier, about a month ago, issue an RFP. It's a different funding source. It's what's left of our housing set-aside funds from a redevelopment agency. So that was approximately $3 million. So that right now, that NOFA is still open for developers to apply for.
Okay, I could have sworn we had more in the account. 'Cause I remember when we did a project years ago, it took us a few years to build up.
Correct, but that was allocated towards a project about 2 years ago for the Golden West project. And that was approximately $1.9 million.
That used up all that amount? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Markwin.
Thank you for doing such a good job and a wonderful presentation. With that, I move to approve.
All right,
Public hearing.
okay, no, not yet. I do have one question for you. For the fair housing services, I know that you allocated like $20,000, and to me, can you elaborate a little bit more about it? Or how did we do last year? What kind of services that we provided to the housing services? And $20,000 is it enough, or we should ask for more?
So that was a request directly from the Fair Housing Foundation. It's a nonprofit agency that provides education in regards to fair housing rights and responsibilities when it comes to legal tenant and landlord responsibilities. Low-income residents are able to access rental housing counseling services. So if they have questions about their particular situation, in regards to their rental unit, they're more than welcome to reach out to Fair Housing Foundation, set up a one-on-one appointment with the housing counselor to provide additional information if they have questions about specific questions related to their fair housing rights.
Okay, all right. If there is no question from staff, then, okay, Councilmember West.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was looking at the graph for a 2025-2026 annual action plan. I noticed that summer youth programs only $10,340. Is that a little less? Should we put more in for that, for youth?
So at the council's direction, that could be a possibility if you want to move money around within that public services category, but the funding amount comes directly from Vanessa's team, so if that may impact if her operations in regards to the program, if start moving money around.
I can see that Vanessa's excited when she heard that.
Yeah, so like Michael
More money
said,
for her.
so like Michael said, we would have to shift that money around, and that budget amount has funded that program successfully for the last few years. So I'm confident that we'll be able to continue that program with this amount.
Right, that's great. I also notice here under that, it says for the program administration is $175,678. That's kind of a little heavy up there. I notice for the senior outreach, it's only $43,000. Home delivery meal is only $27,000. Youth program is $10,000, but the administration is $175,000. I mean, I thought out of the general fund, we are paying staff to administrate all this plan. Is that correct?
So that the CDBG program administration pays a portion of my salary in regards to the overall administration of the CDBG program, as well as a home program. Along with these grant funds comes a lot of reporting, so that pays a portion. So my position, unfortunately, is not paid by the general fund, it's grant funded.
Okay.
So that pays a portion of it. It also pays for the preparation of the development of these extensive plans that we're required to submit to HUD as well.
Okay, so this amount is for you. Are there any other department head or departments that we are helping fund this?
In the past, it did pay a portion of the community development director's position because I was under the community development department at that time, but there has been a recent shift with my position into the city manager's office. But yes, it did pay for a portion of this community development director's position.
Okay, but as of right now, there's no other staff, just you?
Just me. And it also pays for a portion of our consultant's time that assists with all the reporting.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. At this time, I would like to open for public comment.
Mayor, we have one speaker, Terry Raines.
Good evening, Council. Thank you, Michael, for an excellent presentation. I wanted to say that I filled out the community needs survey that was online, and I encourage all of our residents to weigh in on these things when the opportunity presents itself. I also attended the community workshop that Michael was at, as well as the consultant. The turnout was so-so. Would have liked it to have been a lot more, so maybe the city can do a little bit better job. Because when people see this, they don't understand what it is, the community workshop. They don't understand what the funding is, what the terminology, CDBG home, they don't understand that. So, but I did, as far as Ms. West's comments, I was the one that was, we had a little board and we filled out what needs we thought were the most important that fit into the categories allowed by the funding. And I've always been, and you've heard me say many times, I'm wanting a senior housing program in our city, a senior housing development of some sort where you pay a percentage of your income as your rent, not set limits for moderate or just low income or whatever. And so I'm always championing for that. But I would encourage all of the council, in particular, Ms. West, read the staff reports. Ask some of these questions that you're asking are, well, I can't help but remember that you voted no to accept this funding when you first got on the council because you just didn't understand. You said it has restrictions. Every single government grant has restrictions, and there has to be accounting. This is what Michael is doing here. All these reports have to go, and we have to do the follow-up. Please read your staff reports, meet with the city manager before the meetings, and kind of iron out some of these really basic questions, because it comes off that you're questioning staff on something that this process has been going on for years, and they do a fabulous job. And it's very hard to sit there and listen to that. A man showed up at the community meeting, and you know why he showed up? Because he was in tears, shaking. He was about 90 years old, I don't know, Michael remember, because of those eviction notices that went out from Joseph No and Councilmember West and Nguyen. That guy was so upset, and I actually spoke to him because it was the wrong place. But he didn't know. He saw a city meeting and had something to do with housing, so he thought, well, okay, I'll go and question this. And he had the eviction notice with him, and he was scared to death. We have to do better at communicating, and we have to stop putting misinformation out there to our community, especially from our council members. So thank you very much. I encourage everyone to look online. This is posted, and to review it. There's a review period, and you can provide input and comments. So thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, may I have a brief
We are
comment?
still at public comments.
No further speakers, Mayor.
Okay, all right, I would like to go ahead and close the public comment.
May I
And
have a brief
At
statement?
this time, hold on, please. We
Okay.
have it here,
I
so
can
that
do
we go
later.
by item by item.
Go ahead.
So at this time, is for mayor and council member discussion. That when I can open up for your questions. So go ahead. You are
Okay.
now recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So to address Terry Raines, I mean, it's funny that she said that there is, people don't know, people don't show up to this meeting because it hasn't been promoted. So that's the reason why I bring staff to ask those questions. So because people are not aware, like you said. So that's why we ask. But our agenda, all the council, hopefully they do read, and I do read. So I want you to know that. But the thing is that for the purpose, because like you said, people are not aware. That's why my job as a councilwoman is to bring it to light when those 2,000 people who watch this live, so they can hear it.
All right,
Thank you, staff.
Okay, anything else from the council members, or if you have a motion, I can entertain the motion right now. It's council action.
Mayor, I have a question, but
Yes.
I also a motion to approve.
Okay.
This is not, I want to ask you, this is not really related to this, but kind of, you mentioned, do we have a plan for an RFP for a future low-income housing project now that we're adding with the other monies you spoke about and then these 675 that we can use? Do you have any plans for RFP?
So right now, we do have one out for the $3 million I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Any proposals?
So the deadline to submit is actually on Monday, so we haven't received anything. Usually, developers will submit at the last minute, so we'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second to it?
I second it.
All right. Okay, motion and second on the floor.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Monzo.
Mr. Mayor, before you approve, I mean, can we discuss about maybe allocating a little more money for the youth and the senior, or what's your guys' thought?
Okay, if you need to, then we can go into it a little bit more, but we do have the motion and the
You
second.
said the deadline's coming up, right? When's the deadline?
This is just in draft form, but the final adoption will be considered on May 14th.
May 14th?
Yes.
Okay, so we have time. So do you mind for us to talk about maybe if there's a way we can increase a few more thousand to those two groups?
That'll probably be an internal discussion with Vanessa's team to see if that, but I think she stated earlier for summer youth, that was a comfortable amount for that particular activity.
Okay, because I feel like we can always expand it.
Well, there's...
So if we can have, can you bring it back again? Would you be able to bring it back again for any adjustment when you guys talk?
So the purpose of the public hearing is to initiate the required 30-day review period. in order to bring it back, I would have to, city staff would have to renotice another public hearing, and I don't think we would be able to fit it within that time frame.
Vanessa, once we had removed from one and add another, then you got to
Right,
totally
so
change.
all of these programs are for seniors or youth, and so if we took from one of those programs and add to the other, that's the maximum amount of money that can be allocated to these I forget the exact terminologies, my apologies, Michael, that can be allocated to any of these programs. So we were able to do the funding that could benefit all the programs that equally, that our team decided that we could maximize the funding to make sure that all those programs would work. So if we took from one of those programs to add to another, it would create a little imbalance from what we've had planned. We could do that, but we wouldn't gain anything really. So we could take from Project Shoe and give it to the senior center, or we could take from the senior center and give it to Project Shoe, but the overall number would stay the same.
So this is just for this funding source.
Yeah, it's
so
a maximum.
If we really wanted to increase the amounts for each and every one of these services, it's our job as a council to generate more revenue so we can add to these.
Yeah, it would have to come from another
different
funding
source.
source.
Yeah.
Right.
So, thank you.
Okay, all right, we have motion and second on the floor for the 4.1.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Monzo, seconded by District 3 Councilmember Nguyen. This is to accept the following draft plans to initiate a required 30-day public review period in compliance with federal regulations. Draft fiscal years 2025-26 through 2029-30, consolidated plan and fiscal year 2025-26 annual action plan. Draft fiscal years 2025-26 through 2029-30, citizen participation plan, and fiscal years 2025-26 through 2029-30, Orange County Regional Assessment of Fair Housing. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
As this is a great program, but I would like it to allocate more money to the youth, but it is our taxpayers' fund, so for this, I vote yes.
Thank you. District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, now we come to 9.1. Request for establish debt foundation. Now, I briefly mentioned at the end of the oral communication for agenda items, and I think that, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you for your input. The only thing that I ask for is, we think the same thing. We are concerned for the city. We are concerned for the city. And it's just that we need to address each other so that we can understand what we want to do. And I think I have the same as what you're thinking. Now, some of you label that I am doing for the Vietnamese community. I want to let you know that I am a mayor for the whole city, and by now you should know that how I works. And at the same time, if you tell me that we don't do the city business and we talk about this the item for the Little Saigon, that's not true. The whole agenda today is city business, including 9.1 is also city business. Your concern is you don't want to use tax dollars or general fund for the event, and my concern is the same thing. We are not going to use. I don't want to use money from the general fund to fund for that event. That event supposed to be funded by itself. That's what I want. And I think that you are thinking the same thing. Now, how are we going to get there? That's the question. Another question that you want to address is, how is it different from this WCF with WTF? WTF is Westminster Debt Foundation. That's what we are trying to establish. WCF is the Westminster Community Foundation. Yes, it's different. And because of the failures of the WCF, that doesn't mean that we are going to do the same thing for the WTF. We need to do it differently so that we can move the city forward. And that's the reason why I introduced this item. Now, I want to thank for the opportunity for me to go ahead and explain why we're doing that. And then I will invite Council to give the input. First of all, we have WCF. I want to explain the WCF versus WTF. WCF, we have established that with a goal, with the initial goal that to raise fund for the Tet Parade. But then we expanded to more than than Tet Parade. The members, the board members want to do much more for the community instead of for that. And we were able to use WCF the first year to raise fund. That's why we have $40,000 from the fundraising to subsidize for the 2024 Tet Parade. $1 is still better than nothing. We have $40,000. Then it came to 2025. I understand board members who want to do the fundraising. They actually booked the restaurant, and it fell out. Nothing had been done. Just because we have the goal, we want to do a lot of things, and at the same time, council members appointing the board members. And so because of council appointing board members and because of the turnover, we fell short for that. And we can't do anything about it. That's the reason why 2025 Tet Parade, we have $0 from the WCF. You should be agree with me on that. Okay, what I want to do is I want to make sure we don't fall into the same category as 2025. That we have no fundraising dollars to subsidize for the 2026 Tet Parade. That was the reason why we need to have the WTF, which is Westminster Tet Foundation, narrow down the agenda to only the Tet Parade so that people who are on board for that, they are doing the raising the money or however they want to do it so that we can have the money funded for the Tet Parade without using the general fund. I don't see anything wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. The WCF, if we want to continue with the ambition to have a desire of doing many, many different things, be it, no problem. Continue with that. But for this one, we concentrate and make sure that we have funding for the 2026. And is it a city business? Yes, it is a city business. We already said that all right, it's 5 minutes, so I will stop here and I will come back to the second term. So is there anything? I would like for you have a chance to talk about it already. At this time, for the council to present it to you. So.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to address, I was taking notes of what you said. Mr. Mayor, I'm not objective to you creating the Tet Foundation, but this is an issue. When you make the statement, Mr. Mayor, that you are concerned for the city and that you are the mayor of the whole city, by you creating this Tet Foundation is just singled out for only this foundation. But I want to make it clear, Mr. Mayor, is that we currently have an existing Westminster Community Foundation, We should support them by giving them the opportunity to succeed by appointing members. They don't have a quorum. They just need 3 more members for us to appoint. And Councilman, Councilman Mark has just came to the council. He has 2 more to appoint. And then, Mr. Mayor, you have 1 more to appoint. I have 1 more, and Mr. Councilman Nam Quang has 1 more, and I think we each can appoint 1 more. So all they need is just 3 more to have a quorum, so they can do what they were called to do, is to raise money for the Tet Parade. And in the Westminster Community Foundation, we already have that, and they were successful in the first year. But because they didn't have a quorum to create the next fundraising for the next year, so all they're asking us is to give them that ability to appoint just 3, 4 more, so they have a quorum, so they can either continue this foundation and fundraise, like you say, Mr. Mayor, we don't want to get the money out of the general fund for the Tet Parade because it's a city event, but they have been successful doing it. They just need a quorum. So we ask, Mr. Mayor, we ask that tonight that we bring back to give them, that we start appoint to give them a quorum to make the decision to continue with this or to dismantle this foundation if it's not working out. But I think it's up to them because we have created this. We appointed the members in there, but it's up to them. They are a nonprofit organization that they go side by side with the city to help fundraise those amounts, to help not only the Tet Parade, Mr. Mayor, in the Westminster Community Foundation, it helps the Tet Parade, it helps the senior citizen, it helps the youth mentorship, it helps the veterans, it helps the homelessness. They can all fundraise to help all those areas, to help our community and to help our city. But they're a separate entity, and that's what we need to recognize. And we need to at least do our job and give them the ability to have a quorum to decide what they want to do. So, Mr. Mayor, I
All
yield
right,
back.
thank you. Anything else from any council member?
I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go.
Vice Mayor Menzo.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, when I saw this and the mayor heard his explanation, and I think that the majority, as far as the comments that I hear from the community, is that we shouldn't expend taxpayer money for this Tet Parade because of the financial situation. The Westminster Community Foundation was a failure. Obviously, it's pretty obvious to see that. And as I said, when this was established, that if it got political, then it was doomed to fail before it even got started. So this is exactly what happened. The mayor feels confident that another type of foundation is, and I say is autonomous from this council. And in order for it to succeed, it needs to be autonomous from this council. If they can generate the funding, so we don't expend any taxpayer funds for this, then if that's the goal and that's what can be accomplished, then we should go down that route because the Tet Parade is not going to go away. It's a big event for our community. Like I said before, in other communities around our nation, whatever the dominant culture in that community, that's what you celebrate. Like I said before, in Boston you celebrate St. Patrick's Day and so forth. And other communities, here it's the Tet Parade. It's not going to go away, and if it can be funded by donations, then that's a goal. Okay, let's do it. But it has to be autonomous from this council. It cannot get political again, and we need to create, if it's going to be created, it needs to be created where the bylaws state that at a certain point it's going to be autonomous from this council. So I would like to see that plan. As far as the community, Westminster Community Foundation, we should, if we need to make the appointments necessary, but we also need to have those bylaws changed where that community foundation is autonomous from this council. And that, I still have issues with that because when that came about, it wasn't supposed to be just for the TED parade. That foundation should have been focusing on other things for the community. What about school scholarships for high school students graduating? What about programs for seniors? What about our children? That's what that foundation should have been about, not just focusing only on TED parade. And if that community foundation has life, well, let's revive it and get it to a point where it's standalone from this council. So that's what I got, Mayor. So if that can be accomplished, and you're confident, since this is your proposal, you're confident that this TED Foundation could accomplish that, where the funding for the TED Parade can be done by sponsors through this program, then I guess it's a positive thing.
Councilmember Nguyen, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I kept hearing how miserable the Westminster Community Foundation was, but in 2024, it contributed $40,000 to the TED Parade. And I do remember that I attended the dinner to raise money, and I actually bought a whole table. So last year, I was waiting for the dinner so I can buy a whole table again to donate, but it never happened. So, I mean, for all it's worth, it was successful in raising some money, despite it's having its own problems. I like the fact that the TED Foundation is more focused on just the parade. I hate to see the general fund being spent on the parade. I mean, I'm for it. One thing that I would like to recommend is we don't have so much members like the WCF. Either 5 or 7, not more than that. That's it.
Yeah. I totally agree with what Vice Mayor Menzo and also Councilman Mark Nguyen. That's absolutely that's what we have in mind to establish this foundation. So I want to reaffirm that what you said is what we want to do. I want to respond to Councilmember West. You was wrong when you want to appoint members. Remember that before you can see that number of people resign from the WCF. And I also appoint people, and you also appoint people, and council appoint people, and not that long, people are resigned from their organizations. Now, even though that they already had deposit for the fundraising event, but they cannot carry out. And if you continue to appoint people in, then we are going to fall apart again. That's why when we learn that when we establish WCF and the city council control of appointing members to the board, then we are entering, we are committed suicide, basically. Learning from the past experience, we are not going to do that again. And at the same time, we need to establish a foundation that can bring the money in for the 2026 TED Parade. So that's what I want to emphasize. And
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I understand that residents were sharing their concerns, as well as board members, that it's been very toxic in the meeting. And Mr. Mayor, not only that, they're mentioning that people are appointing their family members, and I don't know about their wife, I haven't heard about that, but family members I have heard, a brother-in-law and whatnot, into that board. And then not only that, Mr. Mayor, the board member have come to me on on Carlos' board member and my board member talked to me saying that you came in and yelled at the board, say my way or the highway. When we made this foundation, Mr. Mayor, we created it. This is to separate the city from the board. They do what they do and raise the money. We don't have a say in telling them what to do, but you came in there, and I wish, if it's possible, to have it record on the board meeting so people can see what happened. But the thing is that, Mr. Mayor, you came in there and got involved. You cannot get involved. You cannot appoint your family in there. That's nepotism. And Mr. Mayor, you cannot tell the board, the nonprofit, to do what you want. It's separate. It's a nonprofit. It doesn't belong to the council. It doesn't belong to the city. It belongs to them. So the thing is that, Mr. Mayor, it was successful the first year, like Councilman Mark was there, and all of us were there to witness that we raised over $40,000 to help with the Tet Parade. But the second time around, because you guys didn't have a quorum and there was shenanigan, it didn't happen. But all they're asking us is appoint enough quorum. That is our duty, to appoint enough quorum and let them tick and run with it. And that's what we need to do, because it costs us money to create this Westminster Community Foundation. The time with staff, time that we pay to attorney, Jones and Mayers, we pay Christian, $238 an hour. He spent time crafting this up. He spent time at the board, the meeting, the community, Westminster Community meeting. And not only that, we're paying, but now it's up and running. The Jones and Mayer does not have to be there, and some of the staff does not have to be there. So we have this in place. All they need is the quorum, Mr. Mayor. They need 3 more people for us to appoint and let them run with it. And then I know they can fundraise because they've shown us in the first year, Mr. Mayor. So that is your concern of fundraising, then let them do it, and plus it encompasses everything else to fundraise for. And it gives the board member more flexibility to fundraise for this Westminster Community Foundation. So with that, I yield back.
Okay, thank you very much. Since you talk about it, I have to publicly say this. For the first year or the second year, you and I was on the board as a ad hoc committee. I don't know where you are. I've been doing the work, but where were you? Okay, you are not there. If you ask around, you are on the ad hoc committee, but you do nothing. Now, talking about WCF, you don't even know. You don't even know what's going on there, huh? When we have WCF, the board member asked me to lead them, to help them with that event as an organizer. And, you know, I have to put a lot of time, even though I was on vacation, I have to work because the timing, you know, we have a short timing. I have to work really hard to get that. That's why we were able to fundraise $40,000. Let me make it clear to you. I have 15 tables booked for that event. We asked council member here, each council member sponsor a table. What do you sponsor? You don't even buy a ticket for yourself.
Yes, I did.
And if you buy a ticket for yourself, then it's $75.
Why did
Then don't even talk to me about it. Okay, if you are an ad hoc committee, you are responsible for that. And where were you? One ticket for $75, and now you're talking? I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So I just want to make sure that with the WTF established, we are mere with what we have for WCF, but we are organized differently. And the main purpose for it is the board members is going to raise funds for the Tet Parade so that we don't have to fund it out of general fund. So I asked council I'm sorry, you are not allowed to speak at this time, okay? Please, we are going to take care of it. We are going to take care of it, okay? So at this point, I do ask council to look into approving the WTF so that we can move the next, we don't have that much time because we need to get the nonprofit organization in order for us to get the funding with funding with the nonprofit organization so that we can give it to them for tax purposes. So with that, I move to approve the item.
Mr. Mayor, may I address your question that you asked? So, Mr. Mayor, I know that you said that the ad hoc committee, that is separate from the foundation. I hope people understand that. I was there in the meeting with staff, but Mr. Mayor, you would not allow me when I suggest different people in the, as a spokesperson, as an introduction to the TED Parade, or different songs, different singers, you rejected me every time, Mr. Mayor.
Because you are nonsense.
And you're asking me, you say I didn't do anything. I was there bringing suggestion, but you would not approve my suggestion. So, Mr. Mayor, you know what? If you need the truth, you need the people to see it. Maybe we should live that meeting. But you already got me off of that meeting ad hoc because you didn't want me to give any suggestion.
Right.
And Mr. Mayor, may I finish?
Enough.
I have the floor. So the other thing is, when you said the problem the people are saying is that, did you appoint your brother-in-law? You did, Dominique.
Doesn't
Dominique
matter.
is your brother-in-law.
Doesn't matter.
And he's the chair. And Camilla, is that correct? And John, is that correct? Because I guess,
That's
is that correct? That's correct. So, Mr. Mayor, you cannot, you getting your finger and tentacles too involved in the Westminster Community Foundation, and you're not allowed to. In the bylaw, it does not allow us to get involved. And the thing is that they need a quorum to get this up and running. And the thing is that, Mr. Mayor, you cannot get your tentacles in this Westminster Community Foundation and tell them what to do. And plus, the legality of this is that you cannot dismantle this Westminster Community. This is a nonprofit separate from the city. There might be lawsuit, Mr. Mayor, so it's very important that you do the right thing. There is a process. The process is let them have the quorum, get them to have the meeting, and they decide if this is working out for the Westminster Community Foundation or not, then they will be the one to dismantle it. Not you, not the council. Legally, that is what we have to do to appoint. And legally, that's what we need to do, unless the city wants lawsuits. It does.
Please. All right, at this time, the motion is to approve. Is there a second to it?
So, so that I'm clear, I need direction. So I believe what I've been hearing, I've been taking notes of what I've heard the council majority saying is, I guess it would be direction to staff to return with an item well, I guess I just need to be closer.
There's no direction yet.
To return, so I guess the direction would be to return with an item at a future meeting in which it would be creation of a foundation which would have limited control by the city council, either 5 or 7 members on that board, that initially the city council would control the appointments, but that would phase out over time. Is that fair encapsulation of what I've heard?
That is what is on the Westminster Community Foundation.
Well, I think that's different because, I don't want to get into discussion, but that is different than what's on the foundation currently. For example, you have different membership, you have different numbers of people.
They can change the number of boards. The
Right.
council.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get
But they need it up and running.
clarification
That's the
of what.
thing. They need it up and running to decide.
No, I
So
understand.
they just need 3 more appointee. So we have something in place already that we spend a lot of money filing and attorney fees and staff, Mr. Mayor. It doesn't make sense when we're in a crunch right now, Mr. Mayor, and we just increased tax in the city.
I respect you for that, but if you are going to change it from 11 members to 5 members or to 7 members, you think that you can do it? And also, you said that by law. There is no bylaw until we have the organization established. That's when they put up the established bylaw. So what you're saying is not correct.
The Westminster Foundation has an ID. It is already established, Mr.
Please,
Mayor.
it's my turn, okay? So you already talked about it. At this time, we're talking about WTF, okay? We are talking about WTF. We are established the WTF. You have the right to agree to it, or you are disagree to that. If we want to talk about WCF, we have to agendize to have another day to talk about WCF.
Mr. Mayor, yours says Third Foundation. It's not the Westminster Third Foundation on the agenda. Where is
Councilmember West.
Mr. Ted Foundation. Mr. Mayor?
You are not recognized at this time. Councilmember West, I repeat it again. The item on the agenda today is to talk about establish the WTF. We are not talking about WCF. If you want to talk about WCF, let's put it on agenda for the next meeting.
So I've heard that there was a motion and a second, and I'm trying to obtain clarification.
There's no second yet.
Well, I thought, maybe I believe that there was a motion and a second. Okay, so what I've heard so far is that, so the items that I listed, it would be either 5 or 7, that initially you would have council appointments, but that would phase out over time.
None of that was said.
Well, I thought that's what I'd heard, but maybe
No.
maybe I'm wrong.
I have, Mayor, if I may, I have a question. You know, sitting here listening to all the conversation here is making me try to think this through a different point of view. On the Westminster Community Foundation, on any foundation, sorry, I started to mention that, the board members can change the bylaws on their own. Is that correct? Do you know if that's true?
I do not know for certain, but I would expect that that would be correct.
So, that's the question I'm asking.
Like I indicated, I do not know for certain.
No, that's not the question what the bylaws are. I'm asking, and let us do our speaking over here. Sorry. I know he can bring us back the information. Can we find out if the board themselves can, what is the process of changing the bylaws on a nonprofit? What was the procedure?
So I'll review the relevant documents and I can return with an answer.
Yeah, because if that foundation was created to accomplish, see, I have an issue with that foundation. When it was established, I made a point that it has to be more than just a TEP parade.
Exactly.
But that's not what the focus was at all. People can pretend to say that. Words are just words. Action is what counts. So that foundation did absolutely nothing to do anything else but the TEP parade. That's the fact, and that is a very sad thing because that didn't happen. If that Westminster Community Foundation, we have to at this point. We can't just let it dissolve. You know. Too much money was expended to let that just die out. So if that we can get them to change the bylaws on that community foundation, it needs to happen because the death of that is because there was council interference. It needs to be on its own, standalone, autonomous, and it needs to be folks who are want to have the experience and have the drive to provide a service to the community, not just to have a title on the next to their name and put their name on a business card and pretend they're somebody important when they're really not. Needs to be if they want to be successful, their heart needs to be in the right place. If that foundation has the ability to raise the funds not just for the TED Parade, but also other events and things in the community, then they should do that. I think, I don't know, I want to support the mayor, but it's just kind of making me think that they have the ability to do that. Let's give them the ability to accomplish that. We just got to find a way to get it autonomous from this council and let them, the foundation is already established. If 501c3 is up and running, they can today accept sponsor donations for that. So let's just give them an opportunity, Mayor. I guess.
Well, the thing is that
let them try to do it. So.
The thing is that right now WCF have the vision that they are going to go more than as a TED Parade, and we can't afford to have another TED Parade without fundraising for it. Okay, at least we have a 40,000. I know that, you know, before when we have the outside organization, when they do this, and I've worked with them, all the money that they did was fundraising for the event. Sometimes they have more, sometimes they have less, but they got that from the community. And of course, they have to have the nonprofit organization numbers so that they can, you know, give out so that they can file a tax deduction on that. But if we continue, we saw that it fell, you know, for the year 2025. And I don't see that we can, you know, now not only that we have to limit the scope of our division of the WCF, we also have to modify if that the amount of people on board from 11 down to 5 or 7. And then also that we have to let that handled by the board. So there are a number of things that we still have to work on it. And I think that time is an action that we have to get it going right now. We cannot, I repeat, we cannot afford to have another TED Parade without funding from the communities. And we have to get it out from the general fund. So,
Mr. Mayor, may I address? Vice Mayor, I completely agree with you that it is to create for other activity as well within the city. And that's what I would love to see too, because that's the purpose in the bylaws for the Westminster Community Foundation. But as of right now, I understand why we need up and running to focus on the TED Parade, because it was urgent in the first year that we need to do that. But when they have a quorum, I agree with you too. Maybe our board on that Westminster Community Foundation should decrease, maybe 5. I'm okay with that. Maybe we can modify that and just keep that foundation, Westminster Community, because it's up and running. It has the ID. It has everything it needs to fundraise into it. We cannot and we should not, if we are being good steward of the taxpayers' money. We have used already. So what we should do to make it work for them, what I'm hearing on here is reduce the board on the Westminster Community Foundation. That might work. And they just need enough quorum to get it running. So if that's something we, city attorney, if we can change to make it 5 board member, so it'll be easy and get it done with. And then they can be up and running and start fundraising, soliciting from different group regarding the youth, regarding the senior citizen, the homelessness in our city, regarding everything else that we need. I think they can do it, and I think they're capable, because I know John Chantal. I've been to his fundraiser. He have fundraised a lot of money for our K-9 purposes, other veteran situation. He has done it, and he has connection. So I believe him, Camilla, Casey, all of them who's on it right now can do the job, but we need to appoint a few more so they can have a quorum. We can change the amount of board member. I'm okay with that. So, Mr. Mayor, I think for being a good steward of the taxpayers' money, since we already invest in the Westminster community, just tweak it a little in the bylaw what we need. to help them to do their job. That's all I'm asking, Mr. Mayor.
City Attorney, when we established, we already have established number of the board members. I don't know when we can actually switch, because this is, we came out with that mission, and now we are trying to reduce the number of people. I don't know whether it can be done. To be honest with you, I don't know, because if that was the case, then I shouldn't be voting for that. And the organization already established, and at this time you tell me that you are going to change the foundation to 5 members, to 7 members, then our decision at the beginning mean nothing to us. Anyway, that's my motion. If there's
City Attorney, may I ask quick, Mr. Vice Mayor, he was asking earlier that in general foundation, can they change the board member
So
numbers?
I cannot speak definitively on that. That is not my area of expertise. However, I can get back to you. As a general rule, there are mechanisms to change the bylaws, there are ways to get it changed. I can't tell you right now how to do it, but there are ways to get that changed.
Okay, so then with the Westminster Community Foundation, all we need to get that running is to appoint board members so they can have a quorum. Is that correct, Mr. City Attorney?
If the question is, if you have a complete membership, then they could do whatever they're authorized to do pursuant to those bylaws.
Okay, so it seems like that's the first step we have to do. Mr. Mayor, I think it's just reasonable. Do you mind if we just do that?
Councilmember Mark?
So in 2024, why did the WCF not able to fundraise? Does anyone know? I mean, did they have a quorum during that whole year?
Currently, there's no quorum.
I mean, currently, but during 2024, did they have a quorum?
Is there any
Council member,
Is there
we
any
have-
council member want to answer that?
We have a board member, 2 of them
No.
are here.
At this time here, I'm running the meeting, and this is for the council discussion. They have their chance already, so you're not allowed to ask anybody to come up here.
I understand, but in the past, you have
So
made
now,
that
at
exception.
this time, I ask
The
if
chair,
the council...
you have made that exception
If
in
the
the past.
council have any question on that.
Can I make a suggestion, City Attorney, as well? I know there's been extensive conversation about the Westminster Community Foundation, and that is not on agendized. And I know this kind of got
Right.
swayed in that direction, but right now we're supposed to be speaking about establishing a new TET Foundation. I would suggest that you can give you an opportunity to bring us that information back, and we can continue that discussion. That question that I asked. Bring it back
So
to us.
if it works for the majority of the council, I would be happy to return with information about options as far as either revising the bylaws or figuring out a way to revise the WCF, or and then also a different listing of alternatives relating to the creation of a new entity, and we can talk about the differences between the two.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
So at this time,
I second that.
for 9.1 is the request to establish a TIT foundation. And you already heard why I'm asking for that, and I motion to approve.
So is that, I'm
there
sorry,
a
is that a
second to that?
substitute motion?
So initially, when the city attorney kind of jumped in, really what he was looking for was clarification on that motion, because it's not a motion to approve the establishment, the establishing of the foundation, as much as it is what direction you want us to go into. So he had a list of, things that notes that he took from your comments. But, the direction needs to be clear, is like, you want us to come back with bylaws with incorporating all these, different things that you talked about, or it's not necessarily an approval. It's really which direction you need us to go into and
Yeah.
what those bylaws are
Okay.
going to look like.
Okay, the direction that the city attorney mentioned, this lastly, I think that would accomplish, that's direction.
So
So
city
come
attorney,
back with that information.
Come back.
So,
Yeah.
so we're still on
Yeah.
the mayor's motion. We're trying to clarify the mayor's motion. And
Okay.
so, yeah, so his motion was initially to approve, but since there's nothing to actually approve, then really it's a motion to direct. How would you like us to?
Yes,
Mark.
right here is a request to establish the TIT Foundation, and I would still go with that,
Okay.
with the recommendation that, the answer that we already provided to the.
Okay. So you'd like
city
us to
attorney.
come back at a meeting, future meeting with that information?
That's right, that's right.
So city manager, I think Mr. Mayor is correct. On this, item 9.1 is to establish the debt foundation. Is not to come back on direction what to do with this debt.
Well,
is to establish it.
so-
But we, Mr. Vice Mayor, and we want to bring, city attorney to bring back the Westminster Community Foundation and the bylaws, if we can change or add or reduce.
I do not agree with that, because the WCF is not at this item. If you want, you can
That'd be a substitute
agendize
motion.
for the next meeting. But we are not talking about WCF at this, you can't direct staff to bring back the WCF.
Right, that's correct, because it's not on here. So today, on 9.1, is to establish the debt foundation. But the thing is that we feel like we're putting the wagon before the horse, so the cart before the horse. So I just feel like we have established the Westminster Community Foundation already. Let's address that with this. I think I want to table it. So it's important to discuss more on the TID Foundation. I am okay for next dialogue, but I want this to be tabled. So then when we have the Westminster Community Foundation on the agenda, then I think it will make sense to all of us. And I believe that's our responsibility. At least that's the least thing that we can do for the board member on the Westminster Community Foundation.
Okay, one motion to table, and I need to go back to the first motion first.
What?
The first motion is my motion. My motion is to proceed with establish a TID Foundation with the things that we have discussed about, number of things that we established, either 5 members or 7 members. I didn't get all of that, but I know that, can you repeat?
Do you want to repeat? Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be that we would return with the documentations that we could create a TET foundation with either 5 or 7 members, that the goal of, as those are being drafted, that initially the city council would have authority, but that would decrease over time. Were there other direction?
Once we establish the organization, it will be managed or controlled by the board members, not by the city council.
Understood.
Okay. And also the sole purpose for the TID Foundation is to raise fund or do whatever necessary to have fundraising for the TID parade alone, nothing else. No, it's not cultural, it's different. We are not going to talk about culture. This is for TID Foundation only. This is for TID Foundation only, and this is for
On here it says other TED-related cultural efforts.
Your own motion, you don't even know what you're
No, I understand what you're saying.
No,
Like anything
no.
relating to the TET parade is,
Yes.
anything relating to the TET
Anything
parade
related to TID parade.
is your intent?
Yes.
Yes, it's only for the TED parade, cultural.
Okay, so that my motion is a second to that.
I second.
That's all.
Okay, is there a substitute motion?
I want to make a substitute motion. My substitute motion is to direct the city attorney at next meeting to bring us back information as far as how much taxpayer, how much time city staff and time is going to, and cost, city attorney fees to establish this, a new foundation, and also the process by changing the bylaws of the community, Westminster Community Foundation.
I second that.
What is the process by that?
I don't believe that, sorry, Vice Mayor Mezzo, but I don't believe that you can marry the WCF into this. We are determined for the TID Foundation only. If you want to have another item at the end, you propose to have it on the agenda for next meeting, then you can do that. But now you can.
So,
Mr. Mayor?
I understand what the mayor's saying. He's saying we can only be discussing items on the agenda. So certainly you can always request that an item be placed on a future agenda, and I think we could clarify that this would be an agenda item for a future meeting, where at that time I would bring back that information. So I think what you're saying is allowed.
From what I'm saying is allowed?
Yeah, yes, insofar as it's the same basic idea. You see what I'm saying? I mean, where we put it on the agenda, I mean, what we could do is we could take, alternatively, you could have a motion to table right now and then bring up a future agenda item later at the meeting.
I disagree with you, City Attorney. I disagree with you. Okay.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
The thing is this, because you don't know the process that we have. This is the agenda. We discussed the agenda item only, and at the end of the meeting, there, when the City Council discuss about comments and requests for agenda item, that's when they agendize the item.
We can certainly do it at that point in the meeting.
Yes,
that is certainly acceptable.
We can do it at that time as well.
Mr. Vice Mayor, may I modify your,
well, I didn't even get to finish my substitute motion, so.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, what are your suggestions?
My suggestion is to keep what you just said, to have staff, city attorney, to bring back of how the costs that will involve in this TUD Foundation, how much it will cost staff, city attorney, the filing fee, everything, how much will it cost? And then also, the second part will motion at the end of the agenda, Mr. Vice Mayor, we can do that. I will be your second on that. For the Westminster Community Foundation. Now, the second thing I want to add to your substitute motion, Mr. Vice Mayor, is that to table this decision to the next meeting.
Well,
when that's brought up about how much money it costs.
I don't know if that's the right, you don't need to table it if it's going to come back, so it's not a tabling.
Okay, then we can do it.
It's not a.
Yeah, so if you can
my
just.
substitute motion is to bring back the information to get the established, what is going to cost to establish this foundation, and everything, cost, staff time, and for now, that's my. It's not about actually initiating it. I don't want to. I think we need to.
Okay.
Basically, that your motion is the same as her motion, that table it and then bring back the information, that's all.
It's just bring back information, it's not tabling it.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I agree with you. I think it's important to have those numbers because I know that you're very frugal with our tax dollars, the people's tax dollars, so that's good.
Let me clear with the Vice Mayor first, his motion. He said it seemed like he said he's agreed to do this. He just bring back with the motion.
Bring back information. I'm not agreeing to.
If you're not agreeing to, that means you are.
I'm
not agreeing to establish.
Right. Okay, so that means you you ask for the information to come back with the information.
Come back with the
basically
information before we establish.
Yes, I agree. I second that.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I feel like we are wasting time here. Why don't we make a decision right now? instead of, bring it back and then we're going to, discuss it over and over again. My point of view is this: why we reinvented the wheel. Okay, we have WCF. That's perfect to me. So get it working. So by saying that, I would like to make another substitute motion. Okay, I would like to keep WCF, give it another chance, and okay. So
I'm sorry that I have to stop you here. Yeah, if you listen, that we are not doing anything with WCF right now. We are talking about establishing a TED foundation, whether you agree with that or you disagree with that. Forget about WCF. If you want WCF, then wait until at the end you can make
He was
I
about to
disagree.
do his substitute
I
motion.
disagree. My substitute motion is take no action.
You know what, that's just kind of the same thing as bring it back, but I think Vice Mayor has a
No,
lot of
that's
concern.
different. That's different.
Yes, take no action because we already have something in place.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor also said he wants to fundraise for more than just the TED Parade. All three of us agree on that. You know, and with the TED Parade, only establishing the TED Parade. So to establish the TED Parade, we are disagree with it right now, all three of us. Vice Mayor,
You
Councilman
talk for
Nambong,
yourself
myself.
first, okay? You talk for yourself. Whatever you agree or you want to propose, do it. So don't talk to for other.
So I take no action.
So do I have a?
What do you
your
mean?
Have a second. Okay.
I don't understand. Take no action on this.
Can we vote?
Okay.
There's a motion and a second. I'm not sure of the action. We're saying take no action. Does that mean that that there's a no on the proposal? Is that,
Yes.
and it would never return?
Yeah.
No, don't bring
further
it back.
discussion?
Don't bring it back
just
to
add it
the
here.
TED
Well, then-
Foundation, establishing it.
How does that work? Because I had a substitute motion.
So-
She was the second to my substitute motion, but now she's,
So-
now
But then
she's a second to a third.
I'm
So-
also going to be his substitute motion at the end
So
to
then-
bring back the Westminster Community Foundation to see if we can change
Okay, but
the
that's a different-
bylaws
that's a
and the
different-
number of boards.
I don't understand.
Is that correct,
so-
Mr. Vice Mayor?
So we
No,
have,
so right now, there was a motion and a second, and then there was a substitute
Second.
motion and a second.
Uh-huh.
But now
No,
you're
there's
trying to make
substitute
a
motion.
A substitute to the substitute.
A substitute.
Yeah, there's a
substitute.
substitute to the substitute.
And you're trying to be the second to that second substitute.
Then that's
So-
fine.
Yes,
I
and
think
So
that's
then how are you going to vote then? Which way are you going to vote?
So-
We're going to do this
so-
first.
so the current motion that
substitute
had, there's been a motion and a
yes.
second, and I was clarifying what the substitute to the substitute motion. So the motion on the table is whether to deny this and not return with any agenda item on this going forward.
Correct. Let's not waste
Yeah,
any more
that's
time.
correct.
We've been talking
I just
like
want
for
to end
32
it here.
hours.
No more discussion about this item.
Can we do a
Okay,
vote?
that's a substitute motion.
Don't bring it back. That's what I want.
So
Okay.
there's a motion and a second. If there's discussion, we can have vote.
Okay.
Okay, we have that substitute motion. Is there another substitute motion on
It's
that?
just, no, the city clerk, are you clear with that?
So you do this substitute motion first, then Carlos, Mr.
Hold
Vice
on,
Mayor.
hold on. We understand your substitute motion, okay, and it's seconded by Councilman Nam Kwan. Leave it there. I'm going to the substitute motion that he has,
Well,
okay?
first you got to do.
Do mine,
theirs
ours first, Mr. Mayor. You
If
have
I can
to.
just,
I understand, but we need to finish this before we call for substitute motion. I understand you all first.
I thought
All
we're
right.
all done, ready to vote.
No, not yet. Vice Mayor.
No,
Menzo.
I mean, I don't want to kill this item. I'm saying bring it back, so let's vote.
Let's vote. Yes.
So-
let's vote.
Okay,
I call
so
to
you have
question.
that. And my motion is still moving with the
I call to question.
TED Foundation with the
yes.
requirements that, with the request that
We'll
we
let the
have.
city
Okay,
clerk.
Okay.
all right.
So-
So substitute motion go first, okay?
I'm going
With,
to call on the substitute
bring-
of the substitute.
Substitute of the
So
substitute.
the substitute motion of the substitute motion is made by District 4, Councilmember Nguyen, seconded by District 1, Councilwoman Fan West, to take no action on this item. I'll go ahead and call roll. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
No.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
No.
Mayor Nguyen.
No.
Substitute motion failed, 2-3. I will call the substitute motion, which was originally made by Vice Mayor Monzo, seconded by District 1 Councilwoman Fan West, to bring back the information regarding the cost and staff time to establish a TEP foundation prior to establishing the TEP foundation. I'll go to call roll on the substitute motion. District 1, Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
No.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
No.
Substitute motion carried, 2-3.
All right. So next item is 5.1, contractual agreement with the County of Orange to provide services for the Westminster Family Resources Center. So with this, I think it's very clear, so I move to approve.
I second it.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, seconded by Vice Mayor Monzo. This is to approve the contractual agreement with the County of Orange to provide Family Resource Center services in the amount of $500,000 per fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2028, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city. I'll go to call roll. District 1, Councilman Fan West. District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 4-0.
All right, we come to the next item, oral communication concerning non-agenda items. And so, Madam Clerk, would you please go ahead and read the instruction into the record, please?
This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding any non-agenda items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City Council, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a yellow speaker slip that is provided at the entrance of the council chambers and submit the card to the city clerk. When your name is called, please step up to the podium and state your name and city of residence for the record. First speaker is Michael Varengia, followed by Nat Lynn.
Thank you. Boy, am I glad that's over with. My non-agenda items, I get a little worried when I keep hearing talking about establishing some kind of center at Blakely Park or trying to get the deed for Blakely. It'd be nice to just leave that the way it is. Another thing, and I brought this up, my last comments, you want to generate a lot of money for TET. Start making contact with these businesses. There's a lot of businesses in that little Saigon area that are extremely successful. They can live with donating $100 one time a year towards the TET Festival and Parade. You go out and you do your public contacts, start working these people. Start now for next year. Oops, sorry about that. Start now for next year. We're talking thousands of dollars with all these businesses, and not just down there, but any Vietnamese businesses and other businesses that wish to donate. What's the matter with asking for that? Nothing comes out of the city's coffers, and you'll generate an awful lot of money to get that thing going without pissing the people off, thinking that you're wasting money on something. Also, I read the federal lawsuit against the city and the chief of police, and I had to laugh because here's a guy claiming that his First Amendment rights were violated while he was violating somebody else's First Amendment rights. And you look at that and you say, you know, you really can't make this stuff up. Not only is the guy's lawyer an idiot, but the plaintiff's an idiot. Also, you guys want to find out about a successful foundation? Contact the people in Garden Grove. They've had a very successful community foundation for a lot of years. Check with them. Get some ideas to generate things for the city. There's nothing wrong with asking, and that's actually the smart way. When you get hired as a police officer, you don't go in there right out of the academy and they don't throw you out on the street by yourself. You go in there with an FTO. Same with the fire department. You have to get the information from those that have been around for years to learn what your trade is going to really be. So it doesn't hurt asking another city's foundation, look, how did you guys get started? What did you do? What did you find out worked best for you at the very beginning? Who do we talk to that was there at the beginning? Because there's always growing pains with anything new. So there's nothing wrong with doing. Have a good evening.
Next speaker is Nat Lynn, followed by Donald Link.
Xin chào thị trưởng, phó thị trưởng và các nghị viên trong hội đồng thành phố. Tôi tên là Nhật Linh, là cư dân của Westminster. Tôi có ý kiến về item 9.1 như sau. Năm 2025 là cột mốc đánh dấu cộng đồng Việt Nam đã chung sống và cùng góp phần xây dựng thành phố Westminster có một Lido Sài Gòn như một điểm son rực rỡ trong cộng đồng các sắc dân ở đây. Người Mỹ gốc Việt chúng tôi vừa biết ơn người Mỹ bản xứ, cảm ơn cộng đồng người Mexico, và chúng tôi cũng mong muốn xây dựng cộng đồng gốc Việt với những đặc sắc của dân tộc mình. Diễn hành Tết là một hoạt động không thể thiếu của văn hóa Việt. Chúng tôi cảm ơn Hội đồng thành phố đã có nghị quyết tổ chức hàng năm. Thiết nghĩ chúng ta cần có một nhóm người có khả năng tổ chức vận động tài chính riêng cho diễn hành Tết. Vì thời gian qua, WCF đã làm việc không có hiệu quả. Nhân đây tôi cũng đặt câu hỏi. Hội đồng thành phố có biết là tuần vừa qua, ông Tony Bùi, mà ông tự giới thiệu là chairman, ông đã lên TV local của người Việt, chỉ trích phê phán hội đồng thành phố nhiều điều theo tôi là không có đúng. Ông đánh giá các vị trong hội đồng thành phố chỉ đáng là hạng C. Ông kêu gọi cư dân lên thành phố phản ứng. Và ông cho rằng những người tổ chức diễn hành Tết vừa rồi là sai phạm nhiều điều và ông sẽ kiểm tra về tài chính các thứ. Tôi nghĩ với tư cách là ủy viên Ủy ban Quy hoạch mà ông chẳng biết gì, nói cảm tính, nói không đúng thời điểm, nói không đúng chỗ. Lẽ ra những điều ông ta cần nói, ông ta phải đặt câu hỏi trực tiếp với Hội đồng thành phố sau khi diễn hành Tết diễn ra và đúng thời điểm đó để xây dựng. Chứ không phải là lên truyền thông bôi nhọ vô cớ Hội đồng thành phố. Một ủy viên hội của một quy hoạch của thành phố như vậy có đúng hay không? Một người bóp méo sự thật khi không hiểu bản chất vấn đề. Tôi muốn nêu lên đây để những người thành viên trong hội đồng thành phố suy nghĩ gì về trường hợp của ông Tony Bùi.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. My name is Nat Lynn, a resident of Westminster. I have the following comments on item 9.1. The year 2025 is a milestone. The Vietnamese community has lived together and contributed to building Westminster City with a little Saigon as a bright spot in the community of ethnic groups here for 50 years. We Vietnamese Americans are grateful to the Native Americans, grateful to the Mexican community, and we also want to build a Vietnamese community with our own ethnic characteristics. Tet Parade is an indispensable activity of Vietnamese culture. We thank the City Council for having a resolution to organize it annually. I think we need a group of people capable of organizing and raising funds for the Tet Parade, because in the past, WCF has not worked effectively. Here, I also ask, does the City Council know that last week, Mr. Tony Bui, who introduced himself as chairman, appeared on Vietnamese local TV criticizing the City Council for many things about the 2025 Tet Parade. Very ignorant and full of prejudice, he rated the members of the City Council as only worthy of C rank. He called on residents to come to the city to react. I think, as a member of the Planning Committee, he knows nothing, speaks emotionally, speaks at the wrong time, speaks at the wrong place. He should have asked the City Council directly about what he needed to say and at the right time to build, not go to the media to smear the City Council for no reason and distort the truth when he did not understand the nature of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Donald Lang, followed by Roger Mindrum.
Donald Lang, Westminster, and I'm here as a citizen. Just a thought. I'm brainstorming an idea. Let an outside entity name this. They can name it the Little Saigon Community Foundation for the support of the Tet Parade, or the Vietnamese Community Foundation for the support of the Tet Parade, just not the Westminster Tet Foundation. Leave this to the business community. Sponsorships could and should come from the surrounding cities, not just Westminster. They come and participate in the parade, but they don't contribute very much in the form of funds. Sure, still have it in Westminster. There's an opportunity here to make an even bigger and greater event. Use the money left over in the Westminster Community Foundation as seed money for whatever is formed, if legal. Just not a local government foundation. This is a government foundation. We're not a charitable organization. Can there be an application to serve on the disbanded WCF as opposed to political appointments? Don't hamstring the WCF. Let the WCF decide how many members it needs. Let there be restaurants, banquet venues. I mean, there are many restaurants, banquet venues, businesses, and organizations for fundraising. They're not going to complain about selling too many beers or wines or dinners, just raising money for whatever's available here. There is money to be made and shared for the benefit of the Tet Parade. Let it survive for Tet and other cultural events in the future. Let the foundation give out naming rights to the parade, just like the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime, which is now the Apple Music halftime. Just an idea. Thank you.
Next speaker is Roger Mindrum, followed by Camilla Overbeek.
Well, after the initial comments session this evening, Charlie, you said that just wait and see. You're gonna hear what I have to offer on this Tet Foundation. You offered nothing. That's why you got blown out here tonight. You should have been able to tell us how this new foundation is going to be different. And you're not going to know what the mistakes that were made on the initial foundation because you never met with the people that have been working on it. You close them out, you get defensive, the old Charlie comes back. In the last year, a lot of people have been proud of you, Charlie, that you've opened up, you've been a little more calm, a little less defensive, but tonight, you're the same old Charlie, defensive, angry, raising your voice. You're not really listening to people. You have to be able to know, I'm sure everybody teaches their children this. I let my kids make mistakes, but they learn from their mistakes. And you're not gonna know how to make the next foundation better if you don't know the mistakes of the prior one. And there's a ton of mistakes, but you have to listen to the people that lived it. Open your mind and listen to learn to make it better. I'm actually pretty happy with the way things turned out tonight with actually Amy West and Carlos Manzo, and what you've had to offer tonight was far better than what you've had to offer here tonight, Charlie. Appreciate greatly that you want to not have the city and us taxpayers paying for the parade. Greatly appreciate it. Keep on going with that. But you also have to keep in mind, you're not going to fix what's broken if you don't know what happened to the original one. And you still, like I said before, you really need to get in your head your biggest purpose in life, not just on city council, but in your head all the time. How am I going to get rid of the sales tax? What are you going to do to save money? You're looking at raising funds, but is anybody looking at line item by line item what was spent on this last TEP parade? I saw something, there was a reimbursement bill for Amy Fan West Jeep for $700. All you gotta do is look up Enterprise Rental Car, it's $105 per day. Pick the thing up on Friday, bring it back on Saturday, $105 for a 4-door Jeep Wrangler, 2025 Jeep Wrangler. Why would it be $700? Did she get reimbursed $700 for that? If it was me, I'd walk it. I'd walk that parade unless I raised money for myself to rent a car. Rent a convertible, rent a Jeep, put some skin in the game.
Next speaker is Camilla Overbeek, followed by John Gentile.
Good evening again, Council. I am absolutely floored, frustrated, and my blood is boiling. You just wasted so much time, and all you had to do was reschedule a study session that was blown off by 2 council members way back in September of 2024. And honestly, Charlie, earlier this year, you actually promised the foundation that you would do that. You made a promise to us, and you failed. And yet you sat here and made disparaging remarks and discounted a lot of the work. And to answer your question, why didn't we fundraise? We had everything set up. We had people resign. This council never appointed people. We were left out to dry. We had reservations, we had it all. And I can't help but wonder, Charlie, if your sudden interest in doing a TET Foundation has to do with the fact about the email I received from Dominic on December 24th, which is Christmas Eve, at the behest of you asking the foundation to fundraise for TET, knowing full well we couldn't because we didn't have quorum, because this council made themselves the sole authority. So to answer your question, no, the WCF could never change their bylaws. It was always at the behest of this council. We never had full control. We couldn't do anything. We didn't even have the power to help appoint or bring in people. Hell, I don't even know where the money is now because it's been months since we've been able to meet because this city council fails. So Charlie, you owe the foundation, you owe the board members who gave their time and their effort to at least come in here and educate you before you just disband us like we were nothing. Because when you treat volunteers like that, who the hell wants to volunteer for you?
Next speaker is John Gentile, followed by Faustina Cormany.
Hello, Council. So I was part of that foundation that had collapsed, and I got out in September. When I got in, after the second meeting, I knew it was a total mess. It only took 2. But I was thinking, man, how the hell are we going to be able to get enough people in those seats at this gala for the fundraiser? A lot of people aren't going to be happy with this, but if it wasn't for Charlie, we would have been totally screwed. Whether it's wrong or right, he brought people in, and for that, I personally thank you. So after the gala, how many fundraisers did we do? We did a total of 0. None. I volunteered for everything. Hand is up every time. If it wasn't for Camilla, I would have left long before September. She's the only one that had a half a brain that was sitting up there. She and I might not have been on the same page on everything, but at least she made sense with everything she was saying. So everybody could sit here and bag on Charlie, but we were very lucky to have his donations while during the only fundraiser that we did while I was there. Thank you.
Next speaker is Faustina Cormany, followed by Tammy Hamill.
Good evening. My name is Faustina, past resident of Westminster. Mr. Chi Charlie Nguyen, Mayor of City of Westminster, Orange County, California. I'm coming to you as a child and a mother whose children were kidnapped due to domestic violence. I have been coming to the city meetings more than 3 years now, crying for about the same damn thing. There is no help, no support unless you have money. I'm a spiritual person who has PTSD from the people who have worked in the community. These teachers and staff who lived in the community have children attending Westminster School District. You talk about child abuse, and I'm still telling you that there's no help and no support because the city is full of corruption and racist people. I'm speaking from experience. Child sexual abuse in the family doesn't stop in the home. It also spreads in the school. These children don't need, these children who have been sexually abused will have a problem later on. They don't need medication, they need to be heard. A lot of the homeless crisis is due to sexual abuse in the family, dark secrets. I emailed the Blakely Museum about a retired uniform that I had back in high school. I'm asking for it back in 2000. I donated it in 2018. I'm asking for it back because I feel like the Westminster City doesn't respect me and it doesn't deserve it. I'm going to give it back to my children so they can find me. Please find me, my boys. Happy Easter. Mr. Chi Charlie Nguyen, City of Westminster, sir, the Mayor of Westminster, I'm asking you to step down and call out the corruption in the city. Show Trump that the City of Westminster has nothing to hide. Your ancestors are watching. You have an example to set of what an elder does. You must. Show Amy West that elders who have a high position in the city have been taking advantage of the children in the community. Step down and show the children that Amy West's behavior is not ladylike, it's a spoiled brat. When Amy West speaks, you know it's not coming from the heart, but a place of greed. The children need adults who are not going to take advantage of them. I'm a victim of abuse, and there's no help but money laundering. My voice is not being heard, and that means my children's voice are not heard. That's child abuse, is it not? This is my last meeting. This is my last and final meeting. I made my point clear. You can do it. Step down. Your ancestors are watching. Mr. Manzo, where were you April 26, 1992? And Amy West, shame on you. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Tammy Hamill, followed by Terry Raines.
Good evening. Tammy Hamill, Westminster resident, District 1. I knew these quiet meetings weren't going to last that long because here we are back with the nonstop discussions. Just a couple of things. Something I wanted to point out from Amy's event, the person that she is affiliating herself with, Nick Safin. It's a little concerning to me because she had already praised Andrew Doe about a year and a half ago in a Westminster newsletter saying how he was so great for the city, for the county, and then he's now been convicted of defrauding taxpayers. Nick Safin apparently has also been convicted of defrauding taxpayers and veterans by a group he was running, I believe in Iraq or something. So that's very concerning to me. One of the things that he said during his speech at the church is that he likes to work very closely with someone at cities. I think that might be her. So I believe that you need to keep a close eye on that because it could be some kind of quid pro quo. It's just the things that he had to say, that he already had one company shut down and spent, I believe it was 4 years in prison, if he spent the whole time. Okay, now to the TEP Foundation. Charlie, I'm glad you put it up there so we could hear the discussion and then comment on it. Honestly, I think WTF is the perfect acronym for it because it's a mess. The original was a mess. You can't just ignore that one and want to create this new one. And even though, Mark, yes, they raised $40,000 last year, but I believe we also paid over $50,000 as a city. So they didn't raise enough. And this year it was, I believe, $156,000 that we are on the hook for as a city. But also I say, please don't lecture us on staying to hear opinions. There is a group of us who have stayed for the last 2 years and heard mind-numbing discussions about monuments, flags, street signs, the parade, the Westminster Foundation, now the Cultural Center that came up. So we have put in the time. We do stay. We pay attention, unlike actual 2 council members over here. We pay attention to the presentations. We stay for the long haul. You've seen that. So please don't tell us that we need to stay and listen, because we do, and you've seen that. We've also sat through at least 2 presentations that I remember about possible bankruptcy for this city. That's why I don't think this needs to be done. That's why I don't think the focus needs to be on all of these things that are costing money. Time, and not even just money paying for the things, but the time and the effort that's spent with staff having to deal with it.
Final speaker is Terry Raines.
Hello, congrats PD for placing higher in this year's Baker to Vegas relay. Chief was the most senior runner out there, and he made us proud. Must be all of his training on the trails as a snake whisperer that keeps him in such great shape. Nam Quan ditched our American Vietnam veteran event. Amy showed up 25 minutes late, just in time to speak and grab some food for her family, but staff did a great job. None of you bothered to show up to the museum's open house Sunday except Vice Mayor Manzo. Amy told him she'd be there after church between 2 and 3 p.m., but she never showed up. So disrespectful, as is the fact that 4 of you have never visited the museum to learn about our city's history because you just don't give a damn. Handout, I went to Amy's coffee meet and greet at Garden Grove Church Friday. Her guest speaker was Nick Siphon from Patriots Promise, a nonprofit suspended by the Franchise Tax Board last year. Siphon pleaded guilty to 2 counts of felony tax evasion in 2014 and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. He failed to report millions of dollars of corporate income received from government contracts and used $880,000 of those funds for down payments on lavish real estate and $292,000 for a Ferrari and a Rolls Royce without reporting that money as personal income. I was offended by host Pastor Steve's repeated accusatory comments directed at me, such as, if anyone gets out of line, you will get to meet me, I'm this big for a reason. So very Christian-like of him to threaten attendees. I was just there to listen and learn like everyone else. Amy had convicted felon Andrew Doe as her guest speaker at a previous event, so felons really do flock together even in church. A settlement conference for Amy's criminal bribery case is set for Tuesday, the 15th at 8:30 a.m. in Department W14 at our courthouse. A case management conference for the city's case against her and Nam Quan is set for May 6th at 9:30 a.m. in Department C24 at the Santa Ana courthouse. I'll be at both. Handout, former city council candidate and perpetrator of the fake news mobile home park eviction notices, Joseph No, filed a federal civil rights lawsuit Monday, naming the city, Mayor Nguyen, and Chief Linné as defendants over his arrest when he removed a mirror outside the mayor's office last year. The complaint is frivolous and downright slanderous, crafted by an immigration lawyer with a bad reputation. The city should file a counter lawsuit against No for damages caused by his fake news eviction notices and for illegally campaigning on public property. Actions must have consequences. Amy, your BS statement at the last meeting about not intending to offend a staff member appeared to be mayor-directed attempt to avoid real consequences for your egregious words and actions. It sure as hell wasn't an apology. Narcissists don't apologize. Adolfo, this community is buying you or any employee who decides to sue Amy or Nam Quan for defamation and or workplace harassment. Charlie, taxpayers won't pay one damn dime towards your Vietnamese Cultural Center legacy fantasy. Announcing your idea and directing staff to explore it before ever reaching out to the Historical Society was abhorrent. If you want a TET nonprofit, let the community establish it. Let the community form it. Let the community do it like it used to be done when the TET parade was funded by nonprofits. Thank you.
No further speakers, Mayor.
Thank you very much. I will have a brief answer with this. Let the community do it. We have let the community do it. Who's doing it? And I want to respond to Mr. Valencia. yeah, your idea is very good, $100 from the business. Who are the people who are doing that? We don't have people doing that. Nobody volunteered to do that. I volunteered to help out when they requested. Last year, several people from the board asked me to help them because of what they were disrespectful, and you know, they said that, why do I get involved? The answer is no. I'm not going to touch it. And that's what happened. I just want to let you know that if you guys tell me that I don't know about the organization, I do know about the organization. And so anyway, I'm not going to argue about it at this time. I want to go ahead and close out the oral communication for non-agenda item, and we move to the next item, which is item number 10. Comments and requests for agenda item from the city council and agency member, including AB 123, for report when required. Let's go with Councilmember Mark Nguyen.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Thursday, I was able to attend the Santa Ana River Flood Protection Agency. And we elected new members. Basically, Pat Burns was the chairman, and Kathy Green was the elected as vice chair. We talked about two main projects: the Santa Ana River Main Stem Project. It's a ongoing project and is estimated to be completed sometime in 2033. The second project that is on the horizon is the Westminster and East Garden Grove Flood Risk Management Project. It's going to cost about $2 billion. It's going to be a project between the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and several cities: Huntington Beach, Westminster, Santa Ana, Fountain Valley, and Garden Grove. It is meant to reduce the flood insurance premium on the homes surrounding this channel. At this time, they're seeking federal money. So the project is hasn't started yet, but they're seeking money for the project. With that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Mark Nguyen. Next is Councilmember Amy Van West.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I want to thank you, staff and fire, police, and all of you guys for doing all the job to run our city again. So it's not go unnoticed, and it's recognized by the council and mayor here, and we're thankful for you guys. And then also just thank you for resident in the city of Westminster and those 2,000 to 3,000 people who watch on live on YouTube on our Westminster live council meeting, because I want to applaud you guys, because our city has the most traction of viewers. My friend over in Brea, he said the most is like 10 people who watch it. So thank you. Thank you, community, for getting so involved in our city of Westminster. Now, the other thing is, I just want to address one of the member of the public saying that I got reimbursement of $700 and something. I just want to let you know, I don't know if you got the email text between me and Lynn regarding the amount that's reimbursed to me. And it is $235.38. Just want to let you know for the record, for the Jeep that we rented for Ted Parade. And I know that other council member rented a little more because it's up to $700. So why don't you ask those council member how much money goes to each of their car that the city rented to them? So I think that's a good idea. But also, I just want to, I'm so happy. Thank you, Mayor and Council and staff, for recognizing this month for the Child Abuse Prevention Month. It is very dear to my heart because as an adult, that's one thing we can do, is to defend the children who can't defend themselves, and that's our job and that's our duty as adults. So I thank you for that. Every month, every year, you guys celebrate that and remind others of protecting the children in our community and in our state. Now, also, I want to thank you, Mayor and Council and staff, that you guys approve the recognition, remembrance for the Holocaust, because it's unfortunate, like we mentioned, it is horrific that anyone can think of murdering people that they don't think is valuable in society. That's wrong. That's completely wrong. We should always value life from the womb to the tomb, and that's how we should view it. And I know for myself, I do value that, and I will continue to defend that. So I just want to encourage those who feel like they are been, attacked. They've been for, causes that's unfair, unjust, like for the children that are being abused, or the people who gone to tragedy like the Holocaust and other wars and other tragedy locally here in the city of Westminster. I want to encourage you that in Psalm 82:3-4 says that the Lord defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked. And I know God loves each one of us, as individual. We're just not a number. He made us special and unique. And I want each of you guys who are hearing me tonight, that you must understand how special you are and how valued you are by the God who made the universe and who created you special and unique. And I just want you to know that the Lord will deliver the needy from the hand of the wicked. So God bless you guys. God bless the city of Westminster, and may God bless America. Thank you.
All right, next is Councilmember Nguyen, Nam Quang Nguyen.
Just want to say thank you, staff and our PD. Good night.
All right, Vice Mayor Menzo.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I want to congratulate our PD, our Baker Vegas run team. Congratulations again. Keep doing better and better. I know you got the old guy out there showing the young guys how to do it. So congratulations to him. Same for our fire department, our PD. Thank you for keeping our city safe. And out there, been busy, left late. So thank you for that. I know there's a lot of conversation, and I thank you for Mr. John Gentile for making sure that he recognized the efforts by our mayor when it came to making that one gala successful. It was, if it wasn't, he's got strong connections in the community, able to get folks out there and fill those seats. So he did do that. I mean, you can't hide the fact that that's what happened. So thank you for making sure that was recognized and that was stated. And there's a lot of good and bad things going on, but I like to think that we're staying positive and putting one foot forward in front of the other. As far as our Holocaust, that's thank you for staff, and I want to thank Councilmember Mark Nguyen for initiating, make sure that we put that proclamation forward and we didn't forget about it. So thank you for that. Thank you, staff, for all your hard work. Thank you, council. Thank you, our city attorney, doing a good job. All right, have a good. Oh, and by the way, I hope you guys enjoy your holiday coming up here in I think is a couple of weeks. So hopefully you be able to enjoy some time with your families. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice.
Sorry, and let's not forget about that bunny hops. What was it? Can you repeat those dates, City Manager? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Bunny Hop, Saturday. This coming Saturday is Bolsa Chica Park, 10 to 11:30 a.m., and then John F. Land Park, 1 to 2:30 p.m.
There you
So
go.
this Saturday. And then next Saturday, Coronet Park, 10 to 11:30 a.m., and then Tony Lamb Park, 1 to 2:30 p.m.
Thank you. Oh, to agendize. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
I will be your second.
Please agendize that WCF, bring that back for our next regularly scheduled meeting. So we can speak about that and how are we going to move forward.
So what are we, so,
Is that a motion? And
Yes,
is there a
motion for a
second for that?
future agenda, yes.
I second it.
Yeah, I second it.
Yeah, city,
Oh, okay.
I think there was a,
Okay, so I have a motion made by Vice
wait,
Mayor
wait,
Monzo.
wait,
Excuse me.
hold on, sorry. So are we bringing back, it was like an hour ago. Are we bringing back the WCF item, bringing back the bylaws, or appointing? Or what are we bringing
yes,
back?
all the bringing back the processes that, as far as how, of changing the bylaws, for one, what's the process for that?
Okay.
No, that's number one. And then going forward with appointments. And city attorney, what else was there? Did you write it down?
You had talked about costs.
No, that was the other.
That's
That was the other
one.
item.
The other item.
So I think that's it.
Oh, Mr. Vice Mayor, may I add exactly what City Manager suggested is that we also do an appointment there too, because they need a quorum. So in
Well,
order
that's
for
what I said.
us
He
to
said it.
change.
I
Oh,
said
you
that.
did?
said it.
Okay.
Yeah, I said it.
Yes, that,
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, but yes, I
How to
agree to
change,
that.
yes, so we have how to change the bylaws and appointments.
Appointments, yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next
So,
is...
Mayor,
Can we
if
vote?
I could call the roll for the vote for the motion.
Right.
So I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Monzo, seconded by District 1, Councilwoman Fan West. This is to bring an item back to the next agenda regarding the process on how to change the bylaws for the Westminster Community Foundation and to move forward to making appointments to the Westminster Community Foundation. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
District 3, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
District 4, Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Monzo.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, at the beginning of the meeting, I want to thank both the public safety from the fire department and as well as from WPD. I know that there's were a lot of effort that you put in. Appreciate for that, and appreciate for the update too. I want to thank staff for a job well done last Saturday for their American Vietnam Veterans 2020 Day 2025. It was a successful event. We have people. A lot of people appreciate that. I have a few comments, good comments come back to me, and they appreciate that, the city of Westminster having that event and welcome them. And I also want to commend our staff for well organized by having the breakfast there, and not only breakfast, but then also have lunch, serve lunch at the end. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything that you do. And I know that staff have to put in a lot of times for different events. So on behalf of the City Council and the city staff, I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for the job well done. With that, I want to adjourn this meeting, and the next meeting is going to be on April 23rd, 2020. Oh no, April 23rd, 2020 has been canceled. So next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 14, 2025 at 6 p.m. Meeting adjourned.